Look, Thanksgiving dinner is gonna have to fucking wait. I'm on a roll and cooking, mama. I'm Spike.
I'm Kel.
I'm Amanda. It is 8 p.m. here, and most not a
Not
late night
me.
activity. Anyway,
Literally not me.
Nero is our guest. Say hi, Nero.
I'm Nero.
Hi,
Hi.
Nero. And thank you to anyone showing up today on this one of the grand high holy days of consumerism, Thanksgiving in America.
I had
No, tomorrow's the
Yeah.
consumer holy day.
Correct. And it has the
Yeah.
it has the interesting variation of
Today's
that is a
carb
holiday
loading day
that
for
did
that
not exist when I was a child. There was no Black Friday when I was young. I saw that be born and evolve in real time.
I'm too young to
anyway.
remember the before times.
The long ago.
It was
From what I remember, from what I remember, and of course this could be entirely contrary to how things actually went. From what I remember, it was a deal where people had Thanksgiving and then they had Friday off. And then I remember news stories starting to pop up when I was young about there's this day and it's
the busy shopping.
Yeah. And I remember there were like news stories in my youth. So this was like the 90s that were like, so there's this thing called Black Friday, and some people are participating in it after Thanksgiving. And they did sort of like the standard 90s news thing where they would show the long lines out in front of the stores at midnight. And then it became competitive and became a word of mouth thing. Like small businesses started doing Black Fridays. And Black Fridays, instead of opening at 6 a.m., they were opening at 3 a.m. And then they were opening at midnight. And then they were allowing lines to form. And it just escalated and escalated and escalated. But I remember when it literally did not exist.
I frequently forget that Thanksgiving exists. And that sums up my feelings on Thanksgiving.
So I shouldn't ask you what you had for Thanksgiving dinner.
No, you shouldn't. You'll be mad at me.
No, tell me. I won't be mad, I promise.
I was busy drawing, so I drank Soylent. And
That's hilarious. I'm not mad. I think it's funny.
Besides, I prepped Spike for this. She's already mad at me.
No. Well, what I am going to have for Thanksgiving, I haven't actually prepared it yet, but it's waiting. I don't like turkey. I think it's a lot of effort for something that doesn't really fucking taste that good. So
I like turkey, dark meat. I don't like white meat. Like white meat's a crime.
Yeah, I'm not a fan just in general. So what we're having over here is steak. We got a couple of New York strip steaks. I got them yesterday and they are dry brining in the fridge in salt and MSG. And they are going
Mike's volume was all the way down.
You sound fine to me, but I understand that that's not what I'm hearing is not
what OBS picks up and what Discord picks up have different settings.
Yeah. But yeah, we are going to have some New York strip steaks, special occasion, and we're going to put those on the pan and Yeah, we're going to. We haven't had it yet. And we are
midnight steaks.
Exactly. I think we're also going to have either potato cakes or mashed potatoes. I haven't decided yet. And then we are going to have biscuits, and then we are going to have creamed kale, and we're going to have all that. And that's gonna be our Thanksgiving.
Hey, I'm gonna talk for a little bit. Let me know. Am I cutting out? Do I sound okay? Is this good? Are we good? Okay, that's enough to test. Everyone, keep talking.
Yeah. Nero, how about you?
Oh, I'm not a Thanksgiving person.
Oh, okay. So it's 50-50 down the middle. Oh no, it's cool.
I don't do Thanksgiving either. I just got a pizza because I'm tired.
I have someone in my chat saying they had a pot roast with red wine.
I was gonna go to a friend's house for Thanksgiving today, but it was mostly just because like I like them and I want to be with people. But I canceled because traffic looked scary, and I said, never mind, I'm going home and I'm eating pizza.
Yeah. For folks who are behind, Amanda recently moved to Chicago. And one of the things it is incredibly obvious these days I cannot help her with is any sort of traffic predictions, because I have never owned a car in Chicago. and I just like it's a thing that doesn't enter my mind palace. It doesn't enter my thoughts when I'm giving people directions
I'm
or
having
talking
a
about.
little problem that I'm worried is going to bite me in the butt. I have this thing, I have insurance that has one of those trackers I put on my car that tracks my driving habits, and I'm a very good driver, so I've been getting very big discounts. However, down a very specific highway, or up a very specific highway, do Sable or something like that? Everyone speeds. Everyone speeds so fast
Yep.
that like I'm scared to not also be speeding. Like I'm worried I'm going to get into an accident because I'm not speeding.
Yeah.
And that's been absolutely throwing off my metrics. It's like, well, hey, you're speeding like every time you drive this road. I'm like, I know, I do it because I'm scared.
Oh.
I don't know what else to do. It's like, can't I just mark this road like State Farm? This road is scary. Please cut me some slack. Don't take my discount away.
Yeah, just send them an email with title. Would scary sad.
Would scary help. Please send help. It's the speed limit is 30 and everyone's driving 60. Help.
Oh, you're gonna fucking love it when summer rolls around and like Lollapalooza comes to town. It's gonna be the worst. It's gonna be the fucking worst.
Well, I don't go anywhere where those things happen.
Okay, but the thing about
I'm boring.
Lollapalooza
You
is
have to
people,
understand.
yeah, people come in from the suburbs. They come in from like fucking Wisconsin and shit, Minnesota.
Oh no,
So,
Badger can tell me about those things later.
so yeah. But welcome to Chicago, Amanda. We are so happy you're here.
Yay!
You were here like last week too, but you were so destroyed from the drive.
I'm honestly still real, not to like monopolize time, but I'm still really tired. It's half the reason why like I looked at like the traffic predictions for driving to my friend's house, or our friends, it's Bridget.
Yeah.
But yeah, I looked at the traffic predictions and I just went, oh no. I think an hour of traffic would absolutely kill me. Like stop and go traffic would probably just put me in an early grave today. Another day.
Thanksgiving traffic.
I'm not opposed. I'm pretty good about traffic because most people, if you put me in a car, I'm very easy to keep entertained because like car is thinking time and I like to think about comics and shit. Yeah. So I'm good. But today I'm just so physically tired still. It's been like nonstop physical bullshit. It was loading my shit into the U-Box. And I did have moving help, but I still helped too because it's like I had to get that shit gone.
Yeah.
And then, oh my god, I'm unpacked technically, but now I've got boxes of shit that need shelves to go on.
Yeah. Moving.
Also, Badger, you say that, but they're still dinging me for speeding. So, like, I don't know if that's actually gonna... Like, they were, like, they gave me little traffic reports, and it said, you drove towards downtown Chicago. You were speeding the whole way. I'm like, I had to. So, I don't know. We'll see how that pans out and if it affects my actual score. But it's been dinging me, and I'm like, no, you don't understand. I'm scared.
Yeah, for folks who are wondering, Badger said they care more about hard acceleration, so just ease into high speeds.
Yeah, I do ease into it, but woof.
The sensor on the car. But Nero, you are a guest, and we should be talking to you.
I want to hear Amanda talk about cars more.
My car has a giant dent in the side and lots of burnt rubber on it.
There you go.
Oh.
Exciting.
Yeah. When me and EK were driving up, I fell asleep in the car and someone pulling a trailer with an ATV on it merged into our lane and did not see us.
Yeah. For folks who don't know, Amanda drove up from Texas with another friend, another mutual, another Iron Circus alum.
My Angle.
Weaver. Yeah.
My sweet Angle.
Sweet Angle. Yes. Sweet Angle, baby. And they got sideswiped super hard on the road.
Oh, yeah. I think the bruise from my seatbelt is finally... Yeah, the bruise from my seatbelt is finally gone.
Yeah.
Because I was like asleep, and I basically woke up and said, oh, I'm dying. Okay.
So this is how it ends.
Yeah. Well, because all I smelled was like the burnt rubber, but that really does smell like your engine's about to catch fire or something. Yeah. And we were swerving wildly, so I'm just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is why I take the bus.
Right on. I haven't had a car since I was 19, and I don't regret a second of it.
I love to drive.
Good. You can take me to Mitsuwa.
I will. Spike, I will.
Isn't it great there?
It's so good. It's so good. It's huge. It's like this it's like this Japanese grocery store with a food court.
And a bookstore.
And a bookstore. It's like a Wachimaya, but more.
It's
Okay.
great.
Not as
For folks,
big, but
yeah.
more varied.
Yeah, for folks
Yeah.
who are not as aware, there's a Mitsuwa in the outlands of Chicago. I guess you would call it Chicagoland. It's nowhere near downtown. It's very annoying to get to if you don't have a car, but once you get out there, it's got everything. It's got sushi grade fish, it's got quail eggs,
Mhm.
it's got a cafeteria, it's got a bookstore, it's got a bakery, a Japanese specifically style bakery, really, really fresh seafood, imported products, appliances. It has everything. It's so
Oh,
Ooh,
cool.
the next
so
time
good.
y'all are up here in Seattle, come to the Owajimaya in the International District
I've
because it is
been
also
to
just
it.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
they
I
have like
good.
fucking love it.
a bunch of bakery stuff now. It's
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah, if you want to get that pillowy, soft Japanese style white bread, and that's
It's
gotcha.
good.
It's the matcha stuff. Just it's everything, everything. It's great, and it's just like a normal grocery store. It's not like for tourists or something like that. So
Oh,
everything is priced really reasonably.
hell yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, if you ever want to just be like, hey, let's go to Mitsuwa. I'm down. Matt's down. We're all down.
Oh, hell
Fucking take
yeah.
me there. I'll make you ramen. Not ramen, but ramen takes more than a day. But I'll make you fucking curry or some shit. It'll be great.
Please.
You could always do the quick ramen recipe in the Porkcraft cookbook. Wink.
Oh, yeah. Oh my, the Porkcraft cookbook. That sounds like an interesting book.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it. But
Explain
yeah,
yourself.
yeah.
I did it. I did that thing.
You did. You did the whole thing. You did the whole
I
shebang.
made that with my little hands.
You wrote it and you drew
With
it.
my little
Whole thing.
My tiny little hands.
The third entry in the Porkcraft series of books, one of the books that launched Iron Circus, and people have been asking for a cookbook for 1,000 years, and I was like, I really don't have time to do something like that anymore. And you stepped up to the plate and you knocked it out of the park, and I'm so happy.
Well, it's because we were at Rose City and there was
Yeah.
nothing happening. And I was like, well, I'm going to come over here and talk for a bit.
Honestly, I think that's how half the Iron Circus
Yeah.
books get made. It's like there's downtime and someone says,
Just
you know what book I would like to see exist?
Yeah,
You know
exactly.
what would be cool?
That is Bree Wilson actually heard me on Twitter. Well, not heard me, read me on Twitter reading about rally racing. And I fucking said straight up, like, bring me a graphic novel about rally racing and I'll fucking publish it. And Bree did that. Bree like came up to my table at a table and was like, hey, so, at a con, excuse me, and was like, hey, so I do have an idea for that. Like, fucking send it. And she did. And now it's like I think coming out late 2023. It's called Hex Americana. Everyone should fucking get it and read it.
I've read a bunch of it already. It's very good.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear that.
I flatted it, a portion of it. I flatted a lot of it.
Yes. And that's honestly,
Which
here's
is
the
how I
thing.
got sneak peeks.
Okay.
It's
I'm
gay.
always a little
Very
I'm always,
gay.
I'm always a little hesitant to talk about how the sausage gets made, I guess is the best way to put it. Because every once in a while
That's a lie. You love talking
No,
about it.
I'm hesitant though. I love talking about it, but I'm still hesitant because and I'm very selective about how much I talk about in certain areas because there's always going to be someone who maybe they're not where they want to be in their career. I think that's the most diplomatic way it can be put. And they will see things like that or interactions between other creators on social media and they will decide, oh, see, there it is. There it is. It's all about who you know. It's all about who you are friends with. It's all about who you are
I mean,
best. They only hang with their
partially.
buddies like that.
Partially, and that's just networking.
Well, that's just life. What parties you get invited to is about who you know. Where you
Well,
live.
I've never
is
been
about who-
invited to any party, and I still get shit. It's not even like it's not about like there's multiple ways. Yes, some networking is we are friends, we hang out. Some networking is you are in my Rolodex for people who do a certain job. That's more what I fall into. I'm into. I have earned a reputation as a fast colorist, and now it's a thing people hit me up about.
Yeah, and the thing is, that kind of shit is, it's easy to. All right, the human brain can manufacture all kinds of shit. And one of the things it's really, really good at is protecting itself and primarily its ego. If I am working in comics for 10 years and I am not where I want to be in comics, I can look around and look at people who started the same time at me as me, and maybe there are places I wish I were. Instead of a moment of reflection and serious personal inventory where you sit down and go, why is this not working for me? What do I need to change? Certain folks' brains will default to, it can't possibly be me, it has to be everybody else.
Me.
Stop it. And those are the kind of people who are all like, oh yeah, I try to get published there, but I'm not bosom buddies with the head editor, so it's hopeless. It's like, wow,
just be me, cute and round and white.
Yeah. But it's like, yeah, okay, if you
that's my secret.
If that's how you want to fucking like live
that
your
is a
life,
joke.
Like talking yourself down from shit because you've decided you already don't have a chance. All right, fine, okay, whatever gets you to sleep at night. But at the same time, like, don't make it everybody else's fucking problem. Just go sit in the corner and be miserable alone.
Amanda, let's be real. Being white is an important part of succeeding in America.
To be real,
yes.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, it is joke, but it is not joke.
Yeah.
But it is joke, but it's not joke.
But of course, if you're not white and succeed in America, you didn't earn it. Because, like, people who are non-white simultaneously just aren't as good, but when they are good, they're still not as good because you can find ways to prove they're not as good. It's just like, it's fucking wild.
And also they're cheating at the same time.
They're both incompetent and exceptionally clever because they have figured out a way to game the system. So they're both dumb and super duper deviously smart. It's like, okay, sure. I mean, clearly this is about you trying to work some shit out, but okay.
I just draw shit and then people are like, I want to give you money for this. And I'm like, thanks.
Exchange of service for goods.
NERO, I still remember that time. I think it was Emerald City. I could be wrong. I still remember that time you were posting shit to social media that was all like, hey, I made some iron-on patches and they've got satyrs on them. I'm like, you got what now? And I fucking hunted you down before the show and almost
you were like, give me the satyrs.
Yeah, I'm like, no one's getting those. Those are mine.
That actually was that Rose City where we talked about the Portcraft cookbook. Because that was literally the only money I made that whole weekend. That's how dead that con was.
No! Oh my god, that sucks.
It's okay. I've just learned to not do shows in Portland. So
okay, yeah, seriously though. We are all coming out of the pandemic, right? So we are
it's totally over. It's ending.
Amanda, shut up.
There's an exit you can exit from.
Amanda, I will throw you out a window.
Yeah.
There is like this whole thing that like in the Iron Circus Slack, because once again, Iron Circus has run out of a Slack. We've been having discussions about, okay, it's time to start getting back out there. What cons are we going to go to? And I don't know how I feel about a lot of Pacific Northwest cons. Like Emerald City was okay when I was doing it, but I don't want to. I am hearing things.
Emerald City is still money-wise good. It's just run by Reed Pop, and Reed Pop is awful.
Yeah. And shows run by Reed Pop tend to trend in a certain direction.
Yeah. Apparently the guy who was managing exhibit tables last year is afraid of me.
Why? Did you like go up to him and complain about something?
I sent multiple emails complaining about things that I sent you those emails to read.
I just didn't want to say anything until you brought it up.
And then I had phone conversations with him where he apologized and also thanked me for not cussing him out. So
yeah. On one level, I get it. When you're part of a big organization, stuff can get away from you. But on the other hand, here's the thing. For folks who aren't aware, Reed Pop, big sort of convention overmind in the US. A lot of shows are either created...
In England, too, because they now run MCM.
Okay.
Yep.
Didn't know that. But they either start a lot of shows or take over from the people who started a lot of shows. And they have a game plan for cons, which I'm sure maximizes profit, which is their intention. But at the same time, over the course of years after the show is bought by Reed Pop, it tends to trend away from individual small creators, individual small presses towards let's invite who was in the last Marvel movie to come and take photographs with fans. And then they put that person on their front page of their website, like, come to Great Big Con, meet one of the Chris's. And that draws a crowd. And the kind of crowd it draws starts this feedback loop where people are there to see Chris and take photos with Chris, and they'll spend $50 to take a photo with Chris. And then they will ignore Artist Alley. And people who show up to sell in Artist Alley, and small publishers as well, they show up to sell their work. They go, wow, this con kind of sucks. And they don't come back, which just encourages ReedPop to keep pursuing Chris and their model where they start inviting movie stars, TV stars, the very, very rare superstar cartoonist. And I'm talking like maybe Jim Lee, only maybe. And that after 5, 6, 7 years, the con is unrecognizable and thoroughly unprofitable unless you are supported by an international mega corporation. And when I heard ECCC, which is Emerald City Comic Con, got bought by ReedPop, I was just like, oh.
I shared a very important meme in our chat.
Contributing. Let me see.
I will say, Artist Alley at ECC, like, you can make money hand over fist there.
No, for
that
real.
was some of the best money I've made. That and TCAF, the
Yeah.
Toronto.
Oh, TCAF is incredible.
TCAF, so many people came by to buy things, I started having a panic attack because I couldn't everyone else.
Oh my god.
No, TCAF was one of those where I was manning the Iron Circus booth one year, and like I wasn't quite set up because again, this was before I realized, oh, I need a helper. And so I wasn't quite set up, and people were already lining up like, are you, can you sell things? I'm like, yeah. I'm not ready to sell things, but sure.
Yeah, the deal with TCAF, the deal with Toronto Comics Arts Festival, for folks who don't know, is that a lot of Canadians, like, they're fans of a lot of American media and the small press and individual creators, but they don't buy from them because shipping to Canada is kind of like, you gotta be fucking kidding me level expensive. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And as a result, they wait for you to do either VanCaf or TCAF. VanCaf is the Vancouver Comics Arts Festival. It's like way over on the other side of Canada. So it's worth doing both, in my opinion. But TCAF is the big one. It takes up an entire, very central library in Toronto, and it's free admission. So a lot of people show up. And the money that is made at TCAF can be bonkers if you are an American creator who has a ton of Canadian fans and you just show up and this is their one opportunity to buy your books. They're not going to go home and buy it off Amazon and pay $14 shipping.
I don't do that great at TCAF.
Really?
To the point where I probably won't sell there again.
Wow. You're the first person I've heard say that. What do you think it is, maybe?
Well, here's the thing is, first of all, who are you talking to?
I'm talking
because
to you.
I've heard a lot of people say that they don't make a profit at TCAF. Like, everyone loves TCAF because it's fun. But yeah, I know a lot of people who they are like, I'm just going to go to TCAF to hang out because I don't make a profit there because it's too expensive to get to. And so like, I think if it was cheaper to get to, maybe I would do it again, but like, it's just so. But so like, this is also part of the reason why they curate and they ask you if you have a new book is because they're aware that it's expensive to get to. So they want you to have a new book because that increases the chances of you making a profit. So yeah, I just don't do that great at TCAF. I don't know why, but it's just and this is the thing is like the sales are comparable to VanCaf for me, but VanCaf's way cheaper for me to get to. So I'll keep doing VanCaf because it's like $1,000 plane ticket for me. And that's not even counting TCAF, that is. and that's not even including the table or the hotel or.
That is an excellent point because you're all the way out there in the Pacific Northwest, and
Yeah.
I'm in
Yeah.
Chicago. So my flight to TCAF is literally, I have had it, I'm not bullshitting, $45 each way to fly out to
Yeah.
TCAF.
Well, I'm so jealous.
Yeah.
I'm so immensely jealous. Ours was $700.
Wow. Yeah, but I'm right fucking there. It's like a 40-minute plane flight. And most
Yeah.
of that is
So
taxiing and shit.
so a lot of the people I know who don't do well at, or they say they don't make a profit at TCAF, it's like it's because of like it's just too expensive to get to. And yeah, so I think a lot of the people that go, that's the thing that like the people say that they're doing well. It is
There are
gonna
extenuating
be,
circumstances.
yeah, they might be Canadian, so they're not doing an international flight, so that's going to be cheaper. Or maybe they live closer, like your flight is way cheaper.
Yeah, way cheaper. Yeah.
Like last time I went, Spike, I remember that I spent a day at your place, both coming and going, because that was literally $200 cheaper than flying directly to Toronto.
Yeah. Wow. And
But
also,
even that was like it's like a $600 flight to Chicago for me. So
yeah,
that's still like a $700 flight when I saved like $200. But yeah.
I should note that being in Chicago, folks, is a surprise advantage for a lot of folks who fly out to conventions because Chicago has O'Hare International. And O'Hare, if you look it up on any sort of aviation centric site, they'll let you know it is a hub. And a lot of like you can fly out to pretty much anywhere, any major population center on Earth from O'Hare direct. And as a result, the flights are significantly cheaper because there's just so much volume going out of that airport that, it just doesn't cost nearly as much. It's not like you're living in Podunk and, your flight to Vancouver, your flight to Toronto is the one
I'm not gonna miss that.
Yeah, the one going out that day, whereas Chicago's got flights out to Toronto literally every 45 minutes.
Yeah, so like when I was going through and like cutting cons, like because they weren't profitable enough, TCAF was one of the first to go.
Wow.
That I was still doing. And so profit wise, it was about on par with C2E2 for me. And C2E2 has shittier sales, but is cheaper because I can crash on your couch. And it's cheaper to fly to Chicago than Toronto. But yeah, like so Emerald City is my best financial most profitable show because that is like a 3-hour drive. And VanCaft's pretty good because just hitch a ride with a friend, and that's I think 6 or 7 hour drive. So just pitch in for gas. And I did really well at San Diego this year.
That is something I didn't ever expect anybody to say.
Some people do. It just depends on what you got, what you're doing, what you're splitting.
Yeah.
It's also very much location because I used to do so at at San Diego. And then I recently the difference between this new year and years past is I tabled with Sam Logan and Alina Pete, and they have that end cap that's really easy to find. And in the past, I was in the small press area, which is not numbered the same way as the rest of the convention center. So it's like it's really hard to find me, even if you are looking for me. So yeah, it was just easy for people to sort of stumble on what I was doing, or to find me if they were looking for me. So I made like 3 times as much as I had the previous San Diego.
Location, location, location.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that might be another thing with TCAF, is
Oh, for
like,
sure. It's absolutely a thing. I was actually thinking that could be it.
well, I was always in the second floor room, which I had better sales there than I did like on the first floor. And when they added the third floor, I was like, I don't want to be there. Like, I feel like no one's going up there.
Yeah, Iron Circus is
Uh,
at this point now, and I should note that I did not start off at this point. I ended up at this point, as is often the case. But we eventually graduated to the first floor, and that has made an enormous difference.
I think also, you know what it is? They have a lot stricter signage rules at TCAF.
Mhm.
And a lot of people that I sell to don't know who I am, and they are pulled in by my banner. Um, and so because I can't use the same display that I use at other conventions, that also might be why TCAF is not as good for me.
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, the
Um,
thing is, I think we all kind of wish, especially folks who are like just getting started in comics, and doing conventions rather. I think we all kind of wish there was this formula that we could plug a convention into and see if it was worth doing for us. But it's never been that easy, and sometimes you just got to do
I
them.
mean, I do have that formula, and it's called "Did I make a
A
month
profit.
of rent and profit?" And
Yeah.
if check yes or no, and if the answer is no, don't go back.
Yeah,
Um,
and for what it's worth, that works. But at the same time, you don't know that until you've gone. You know, you have to
yeah,
actually do a show and then find out. And shows do change over time. We were just talking about how Reed Pop purchased shows tend to change character. So,
but my sales haven't gone down at Emerald
mhm.
City. They've
And
actually gone up since Reed Pop took over. It's
that's
just
good.
Reed Pop's a pain in the ass. So it hasn't changed my financial situation at Emerald City. It has more just changed how good communication is, how like
Uh-huh.
much the con has their shit together. Oddly enough, the company that runs a million cons does not have their shit together.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Because that was actually I actually used the fact that I did well at San Diego against Reed Pop, because they were like, well, we know our booths are a little expensive and that makes people not want to come. And I was like, the booth that I had at San Diego cost twice as much as your booth, but I'm happy to give them more money because everything went smoothly and I didn't have to yell at anyone on the phone.
oh,
Like,
damn. Oh, damn. That's a good one.
if you had your shit together, I wouldn't care how much it cost. Like,
Mhm.
as long as I still made a profit, and things like were where they were supposed to be or where I was told they would be.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I
yeah.
get you. How much of a pain in the ass the show is definitely factors into which shows I decide to show Iron Circus at. And I don't even have to
And
directly deal with a lot of that.
I know like people complain about San Diego being this big behemoth, but I'm like, listen, San Diego I can use San Diego against every single convention that's shitty, because like they're like, bam, here's when signups are. Bam, this is due this. Bam,
Uh,
this is due then. Bam, this is due then. You show up on this date, your stuff is there, done. Like everything, like even with like COVID, they had the best mask enforcement. There were security guards that were saying your mask needs to cover your nose. Like,
nice.
so it wasn't even whereas like the Reed Pop shows are like masks are required, but no one is actually checking or enforcing.
Ew.
They were pretty decent at ECC. I did see security people chase down non-masked people, but it wasn't like
But even
100%.
but even like people got away with like not covering their nose or having it
Yeah.
under their chin at
Mhm.
ECCC. That was not flying at San Diego. They were like, "Sir, you need to cover up your nose."
Yeah.
Mm. I am probably going to mask up at every con I ever appear at from now on, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah. I got a P100. NERO saw me wear it at Emerald City. It's great.
Maybe I should do that.
I want one, but my beard can't fit.
But yeah, I am thinking right now, like we're all thinking, I guess, what Iron Circus is going to appear at, and I think we've narrowed it down to C2E2 because it's 0 effort, Cake if they have it, which is the Comic Arts. It's CAKE, Chicago Art and Comics Expo, I think is what it stands for. Anyway, it's great. It's very low effort, and we always do amazing there, which isn't a big surprise because the expenses are literally like $45 for a table and then a $20 Uber XL ride. So we can get all the boxes down there. That's it. Those are the expenses for Cake. And C2E2, again, very low effort. Although I should note, we are in a place now where we're going to have to size up, and I'm trying to talk to people at these big shows. We're going to have to size up from just a couple tables or 3 tables because we need to rent a screen from now on. Because for folks who don't know, Iron Circus has been slowly, steadily developing an animation branch for the past 2 years, and we will be dropping our first animated project in the first quarter of 2023, which is a full-on 25-minute long adaptation of the webcomic Lackadaisy by Tracy Butler. And it looks so fucking good. I think I've shown Kel and Amanda little tiny sneak peeks of what it's.
Yeah. No, you haven't really shown me anything.
Oh, I posted it in the.
Spike linked it in the Slack.
That's not me.
Shut up.
I expect things to be handed to me
on a platter, a tray of gold. Yes, but
you can do it literally now.
Yeah.
Here are some cats
Bring
for you to enjoy.
Burn it onto a disc.
Yeah, the murder kitties, and the murder kitties look so fucking good. It's traditionally.
If you want to touch my rat, you must bring me the disc.
And it's so fucking amazing, everyone. It's so fucking amazing. We want that playing at the booth when we're at shows, and to do that, you can bring your own TV, I suppose, but we'd rather just rent one there so we're not responsible for it and have that just playing on loop behind us. Because I know for a fact people are gonna stop in their tracks and their eyes are gonna go dinner plate
honestly
big. What is that?
What do you mean when you say a screen?
A monitor,
like a TV.
Yeah, I was thinking a projector would be better. It'd be more versatile.
No, I want a monitor. I want a large monitor constantly playing, driving whoever is at the booth that day totally insane.
I was about to say it's probably going to be me, and I don't like that idea.
It actually, it doesn't have sound, so it won't drive anyone that crazy.
We'll have subtitles on. You can have your back to it all day.
I will.
Yeah. So,
I believe in you.
Like, cause I feel like driving the booth worker crazy that would be if it had sound, and since it doesn't have sound, then.
Who here remembers doing little shitty anime cons, and there is somebody at the show who insists on playing con DJ the whole time?
That's every
I do. Yeah,
that's every convention ever. Like I remember going to
not every convention. No, CCC will not let you do that.
No.
They Rockstar Energy Drink disagrees.
Yeah.
Oh my
they
God, really?
Constantly played music on loop.
Same with Monster Energy. Same
with
Monster Energy, and the dudes dressed like Mario and Luigi with the boombox on their back.
Can I be a horrible person for
You're already a horrible person. What?
Yeah, but especially so. Who here, and I think Kel will probably.
That was mean. I'm sorry.
Who here? Stop it. Who here remembers when we were at ECCC? I want to say, and we were maybe kitty corner from somebody.
Oh, the dude I recorded.
That was fast. You're traumatized, like I am.
Yes, it was awful.
Who spent the whole con promoting someone who was doing pinups. He was not the actual artist, but he was promoting the artist, and he was promoting them by just carny barking the whole time. It's right here, as loud as possible, and just in this sing-song repetitive way where you could feel your
it's here.
Slowly draining. It's right here. start just walking back.
I sometimes I included that audio in like a Dirty Old Ladies episode, and sometimes I wonder if we lost our booth position because I did that. I know that's super paranoid, but I sometimes worry, like, is that why we lost that booth spot? Because I publicly shamed the yelling man.
That's just, it was utterly maddening. It was utterly maddening. And there's just nothing you could fucking do.
Nothing.
Because I'm sure he got talked to at least once and then just like waited 10 minutes and went right back to it. It was just maddening.
My eyes kept bugging. We would like have a moment of peace. I'd turn to talk and then like, it's here. I'm like,
it's right.
Oh
God, it was the worst.
There's this one guy that comes to almost every furry con that I've ever been to, who fancies himself virtuoso in the violin.
No!
He will often just sit his ass down with like a little camping chair outside dealer rooms, artist alleys, whatever, and just start playing. And people are so amused by this guy. And every time I've seen him, I'm sorry, sir, you're bad at violin.
Is he like busking or is he just doing it?
He's just doing it, like just to do it.
Attention, please.
Attention, look at me. I'm doing this.
Matt Sheridan in the chat says, or that one con where somebody was selling screams. Oh my, memory unlocked. I'm 90% sure that was ACEN, which is Anime Central, which they have in Rosemont, Illinois. And there was somebody who, this is very, very anime con. So everyone who's been around for a while is going to be like, ah, yes. There are sometimes
I've only been to one anime con.
The kids buy a table, and the ones who buy the table, it's like there are 6, 7, 8 of them who go in on a single table, and
they don't do that anymore. Like that's not allowed. A lot of anime shows limit the amount of people behind the booth now. Because
well, today I learned. But back in the day, this was a thing, and maybe there'd be 2 or 3 people who actually had something to sell, and the rest of them would use it as storage for things they bought or the stuff they brought or all their cosplay or what have you. And there would occasionally be someone who is part of that group who maybe sees their friends selling real things, prints, charms, keychains, whatever, and wants to get in on it, but they didn't really bring anything to sell. And at one ASEN, one of the girls behind the table just made a little sign and put it up, and it said like screams $5. And it wasn't frequently bought, but it was bought just frequently enough that you forgot it was happening and you were trying to have a conversation with somebody. And just from down the aisle, she really fucking went for it too. There was like a blood-curdling screech for like 3 seconds. And everything would just stop and turn and look at her. And she'd just smile and take the $5. And it's like she was doing this because she saw.
You know what the new trend with the kids is these days, Spike?
What?
They don't, because you remember free hug signs.
Oh God, yes. Glomp me.
The new trend is I'll step on you for $5.
Yeah.
I've mostly noticed that with cosplayers who are cosplaying someone very specific and very steppy.
Very steppy. Like
yes.
Dimitrescu.
A character you'd want to be stepped on and have a photo op.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Makimo cosplayers everywhere are now set for life.
It's so fucking weird. Cons are interesting.
So many people are learning they like to be bullied thanks to new anime.
Fucking right. Like one of the things that was interesting to watch when Village dropped was people going, oh no, this awakened something.
Every streamer that played that then got to the one blood scene who was then like just dead quiet after. Like, you learned something about yourself, didn't you, buddy?
Exactly. Like the whole, because for folks who didn't watch any Let's Plays of the new Resident Evil,
it was like 50% people like me who are like, I'm here for the big lady, and the other 50% turns out I'm also here for the big lady.
There's this whole, and it's important to note this is from a first-person perspective. Like, it's a first-person game, so it's from a first-person perspective the whole time this is happening. Like, you are dragged into a room with like all these giggling, malevolent women, and Lady Dimitrescu comes in through the door, and she's like 9 feet easy. And she comes in through the door, and she's just like looking at you like you're a piece of shit on the bottom of her shoe.
She's not just 9 feet. She's also an older woman and
She's
busty
also an
and
older,
big old booty.
big booby lady, big booby lady, and
she
I
believe she gets
and licks you.
I believe she gets bigger in every scene.
Also, she's got a chunky butt.
And she's really big and really powerful. Like later on,
she's got a lot going on, basically.
She throws furniture around, but at the same time, she's very dommy. Like, see, that's the only way you can really put it. She's very dommy. She's very like, you're fucking trash, and I'm going to kill you.
God, I wish I had access to that fan art someone did of like, oh no, don't catch me up.
Like that clip of the dude running down the beach in his Speedos, looking back like, oh no! Yes. Little mincing steps down the beach and stopping and jumping, like, oh!
Please don't catch me.
Don't catch
anything
me,
but that. And as I mentioned in the last stream that I talked about it, when that game came out, that's when we were doing invites for My Monster Girlfriend, and I had to be like, look, only one. We can only have one of her.
Yeah,
just one. I'm so sorry.
Only one big lady.
Only one big lady with a brimmed hat.
Stop it! You're all disgusting. One
huge woman.
Well, no, there's tons of huge women, but there's a certain continence. Like we can only have one of this flavor.
Yes. Get some range, you perverts.
Never.
Yeah, but yeah, I enjoyed watching people be awakened by that.
I also like that that show's offering 2 different terrible women. Because I don't like Makima at all. Like even as a step on me please person, do not like. But power, goals, wife goals.
Oh, are you talking about Chainsaw Man?
Yes.
Yeah. All I know about Chainsaw Man is that one screen cap I saw where there's a woman talking about how she doesn't flush the toilet or bathe herself.
That's power. That's my wife.
Doesn't need to.
And I'm like, I guess I have to watch Chainsaw Man because that looks hilarious.
She's my child. I would protect her with my life.
My absolute favorite thing is something from the manga that hasn't come up yet. Long story short, the Power and Denji have their training arc where they have to like get stronger by beating this guy who's training them, and they no joke wear glasses because they think it makes them smarter. Both of them just start wearing glasses because they think it makes them smarter.
Oh, that's hilarious and pathetic.
I love them so much.
That's so stupid. I like that.
Like they are the perfect idiot pair. I love them.
And because we brought up my monster girlfriend, I just want
you should all go back it.
Yeah, it's on Backer Kit right now. It is doing very well, and it just crossed 3,000 backers. We are within spitting distance of being able to do hardcovers as an add-on, so we're really excited to be able to do that. And if you want a hardcover of Smut Peddler X, this is pretty much going to be your chance to get it because hardcovers don't move that fast, so we only order a very small amount. So don't just be like, I'll get it at a con, because by the time these show up at cons, they might not show up at cons, if you get me. Beck H just said Ponyo's mom is a good giant woman. Yes, that's another giant woman.
Yes.
And one of my favorite things about Ponyo is the absolute dedication and puppy love in the eyes of Ponyo's dad whenever he looks at his giant wife. I love that.
No, he's just in the way. Get him gone.
I love it.
He's in the way.
Oh, my wife's here. And it's just
between me and my destiny. Get him gone.
Gargantuan creature just coming up from the depths, and he's like, my wife.
Why can't that be me?
But yeah, also if we get to 250,000 on Smut Peddler double header on Backer Kit, I will do a Satyr and Beltungan story. And if we don't, I fucking won't. So, spread the word.
Spike.
Back it. I want to read it.
Spike? No, I'm going to. You mean for the book or in general?
For the book.
Oh.
Yeah.
Full color?
So
this is a color book.
It's going to be painted. Are you kidding me?
Oh no, you'll never get it done. I love you, but Spike, please.
This book's never gonna come out if we get to that stretch goal.
Spike, don't paint it, please.
Okay, I will do flood fill. No, I'll give it to you. You can do it. You can do the color.
I mean, I could, yes, if it would speed things up.
I don't see why not. You know what color they are.
No, I'm good at color. I'm just saying, bless you. But
yeah, they take forever. How about this?
Your paintings
I'll do
take a very long time.
I'll do that thing where the first page gets a really nice panel that's painted. And
Okay. How about this? You do that last.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Good meeting.
But yeah, everybody, I already know how it goes, and it's fucking brutal, and I super want to do it. So everyone, please back that. He's not dating a gigantic cannibal because
have you made that stretch goal known?
Yeah, it's
okay.
posted on the story page of the backer.
Oh, also now that I'm settled, I have to finish a project tonight. It's taken me so long. Because I was typing on the floor.
How dare you take your time? How dare you?
Anyway, I have to, once I finish up some writing I gotta do tonight, I am going to, now that I have a computer and chair, I am going to sit down. I'm going to do fan art for every My Monster Girlfriend.
Yay! And you should top it off with fan art of Multungan.
Yeah. I'm gonna draw your girlfriend.
My couple.
No, not you. I was talking to Nero.
Oh, Nero. Okay.
Sit down, Spike.
Oh, the awful noodle woman.
Yeah, the wonderful noodle creature. I love.
And that's how she's credited. Awful noodle woman.
I love it because like I got that email and I was like, you know what? I've literally never drawn a lesbian comic before. Let me just see what I can. What
and the first one is like this, like worm on a string.
I like put it in front of like various like lesbian friends, and they were like, "This is good. I love her."
Yes, I love my worm on a string wife.
Oh no! No, don't make me go back to TikTok saying shit like that. It makes you want to go look at worm TikToks.
Like worm on the string was a meme long before.
I know, but still, they were so.
NERO, that anime that you told me about last night, with the good werewolf.
All Saint Street,
it's unfortunately not dubbed, so I'm probably not going to watch it anytime soon.
I forgot. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. I found it and was like, he looks like a good boy, but this is only subtitled, so I guess I'll never watch it.
Oh.
If dubs come,
I get it though. I absolutely get it. Though.
I've been watching the dub of Chainsaw Man. So I'm a few episodes behind everyone else, but I can draw while watching it.
Yeah. So much of like God, we're such fucking victims of capitalism. A lot of my media consumption is governed by what I can enjoy while I work too. So I get it. It fucking sucks. If I'm going to sit there, it took me literally until this year to get through the second season of Mob Psycho 100, even though I really enjoy Mob Psycho 100, because I prefer subs to dubs, and I can't read and answer email or read and draw.
Normally, I prefer subs to dubs, and that's why I don't watch anything. However, once you get me episode 1, I have an attention span problem. I will just sit and binge it and go, "Oh no, it's been 2 days. What happened?"
That's how I got through Odd Taxi. I had to watch it in like a weekend because I couldn't. I couldn't get back to it anytime.
Like I'm the forgets to eat and sleep asshole. Like, oh what?
That's the way to live a life, Amanda.
I can't help it. I have attention span problems, and the fact that I still haven't had my ADHD test is just a further proof that I'm failing my ADHD test. Or passing? How's that work?
I instead watched the second season of Inside Job, which just came out, where the Mothman runs HR. Hi, I'm
I didn't know that was out.
I'm a Mothman. Yeah,
I love
it just came out. It's good. It's good stuff.
That's ADHD, Amanda. I know.
Yeah, I want to know how bad it is. I'm sitting here fucking drawing while we're having this conversation because I can't.
Again, Spike, that's what I do every week. Yeah, so
I can't not. I have to do this. So it just fucking sucks. Oh God, wouldn't it be nice to just do things for fun? Wouldn't it be nice?
I'm
as soon as I'm caught up on work, I'm gonna draw. Everyone's drawing. There's a little mini meme. It's not like a wide meme, but it's a clown of the day instead of draw your characters wearing these outfits thing, and I was like, I'm going to, as soon as I have a little free time.
I almost never have time to participate in that kind of shit. But when I saw that shirt that said "Don't bully me, I'll come," I knew I had to. Like I had no choice.
I am in drawing a million horses land again. It's
Wait,
awful.
I hope you don't want sympathy because these are choices you made.
Yes, they are choices I made. But yeah, I was streaming last night and I drew a million horses.
Again, that's why
I made these choices. I did this to myself.
Kel sat down and said, "I think I will hurt myself on purpose," and scripted a comic with a million horses.
See, that's why when I was making a fantasy comic, I almost a Miracle Knight remix for Slipshine. I almost put horses into it, but then at the very last minute, I'm like, wait, magical fantasy world. Never mind, they're riding animated trees with legs. The end.
Much better. More fun.
Cowardice.
Horses are bad.
See, what you gotta do is you gotta get into centaurs, and then it'll become very easy to draw horses.
Much easier.
No. I linked the pages I drew last night, which are 9 million horses.
Yeah, let me.
Like 6 billion demons.
Oh yeah, I sees them. I sees all them horses. All them horses. All them corpses. As my mother used to say, corpses.
Horses.
Corpses.
Did y'all grow up with horse girls?
Everyone knew at least one horse girl.
Yeah, my cousin was a horse girl.
Horse girls are kind of like eternal. They are forever.
Yeah.
I think I grew up with a higher concentration of horse girls than a lot of people.
I think it depends on your proximity to a horse.
Yeah, that's part of it. Like one of my friends when I was a really little kid had like 2 horses in her not front yard but side yard. So she just when I went over to her house, we just feed them carrots. And when I went to middle school, it was abutted against a property that had horses.
And I'm gonna drop this into the stream so you can see my stump horse.
When we went out for PE, we had to get instructions from the PE teachers, like, no, do not pet the horses because, who knows, those horses might bite you and we're not insured for that shit. So no one pet the horses. So
no one had horses in my hometown, but my cousin did like horses a lot and had a lot of those like very detailed figures of horses on her shelves.
Yeah. Also to note, it's not the same state. I didn't grow up in the same state, but it's not that far away from where I grew up. So there was still some sort of cultural heritage pride kind of thing. The quintessential horse girl book, which was Misty of Chincoteague, if you don't count Black Beauty, and where I grew up, you didn't. You counted Misty of Chincoteague. That is like maybe 2 or 3 hours.
So you know about the inbred ponies.
I know all about. For folks who don't know, there is an island called Chincoteague off of the coast of Virginia. And centuries ago, I believe it was a Spanish galleon broke up on the rocks near Chincoteague during a storm. And it was carrying ponies. And enough of the ponies survived to swim ashore and establish a feral population on Chincoteague Island. Now that population is managed by, I think, Fish and Wildlife. And a big thing near to where I grew up, not the same town at all, not even the same state, but near enough that we heard about it, was that every year or every 5 years maybe, there is a roundup of Chincoteague ponies. And they bring in like cowboys on horseback with lassos and everything. And they drive them through the middle
There's more of my stump creatures.
Towards a paddock where I believe a lot of yearlings are selectively taken out and auctioned off. And there is a disproportionate value placed on Chincoteague pony yearlings. Like they're incredibly expensive by
what do they taste like?
Feral horses standards. So it's kind of, there's like a glamour, there's a reputation for, it's the Chincoteague Island pony. It's one of those. It's famous. And every time that happened, it made the news. And all the horse girls in the Maryland, Virginia area were all about Misty of Chincoteague. The idea that, it's a wild horse and now it trusts you,
I just went to like Jesus horse camp where they were like, if you're friends with God, the horse will listen to you.
Tell me about that.
It was like run by like a friend of a friend of a friend, like family thing, and they're like, "Well, let your kid go to the Jesus horse camp for free for a summer if you promise to pay the next time." And my parents were like, "Please get out of here." I went to that for like 2 weeks, and like we mostly just like shoveled horse shit and then like sat around on the horses. It wasn't terribly exciting. Uh there were llamas that would spit at you. And sometimes they would escape and we'd have to go chase them.
So you live the dream.
Sounds about right.
Pennsylvania, baby.
That's amazing. Yeah, we had the horses in people's yards. We had the horses in the local culture. Also Chesapeake Bay shit, which apparently all the islands in Chesapeake Bay where I grew up are sinking. So that's interesting. And global warming. And yeah, so it wasn't as podunk as it sounds though. The town I grew up in was one of those towns that they bought a bunch of
We all know your town is super wealthy and
yeah.
So fancy.
So fancy, yeah. It was basically a bunch of farmland, and then people built houses on it. So that's why it still had these remnants of like country assness, you know, where people had horses and shit.
I found out about the ponies recently because Emma Frost exploded a bunch of them.
Exploded ponies? What?
Like specifically the Chicopee, the ponies that you're talking about, the inbred ones.
The Chicopee ponies.
Like, okay.
Yeah. So I recently found out about them because apparently, yeah, Emma Frost exploded a bunch of them in X-Men, and I learned about that from because it's when she was a supervillain, so it was like to emotionally blackmail a teenager that she was grooming. So I'm going to blow up ponies unless you do evil things with me. Basically.
Okay, so all right, so it was a horse girl being tortured. Got it.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
We're gonna blow up ponies to make you do what we want.
I suppose that definitely makes sense. A horse girl would absolutely lose her fucking mind. If
my mom was a wolf girl, and that's why my inheritance is many, 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 many statues of wolves.
Yeah,
you can just give them to me.
Oh, Kel, don't worry.
You don't want them, Kel. You don't want them.
No, Kel's seen them.
Oh, they're so
they're huge.
I've seen them. And here's also the funny thing is, these statues, I know exactly where Amanda's mom got them because they're in like dinky tourist trap places. Yep. Like, and I used to get them when I was like 10. But I never had enough money to get the really, really big ones.
Oh no.
So Amanda's mom is like buying the things that 10-year-old me would have bought if I had adult disposable income.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I can't even talk some shit because sitting in my house, and Amanda, next time you come over, I will show you. Sitting in my house is a fucking toy set I wanted when I was 7. And I didn't get it because my parents told me it was for boys, so I couldn't get it. And it was the one, old people might remember this one. It was the one where you got plastic skeletons and you could mold monster flesh over the skeletons.
Oh, yeah.
You drop them in a vat where the flesh would bubble off.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, that sounds sick.
I believe it was called, if anyone wants to Google, Mad Scientist Monster Lab. You can see commercials for it on YouTube. And I really wanted it, and I didn't get it because it was, and I quote, for boys. And at some point, I had one of those memory unlocked moments like a few years ago.
And you just ran to eBay.
Where I remembered, I didn't get that, and I really wanted it. And I think that's honestly the first time I recall being told something wasn't for me because I was the wrong gender. And I was like, well, fuck you! And immediately went to eBay. And I found an unopened, mint in fucking box Monster Lab. And I bought that shit for way too much. And I emailed the seller going, please pack this carefully. I do not want any dings in the cardboard. It needs to show up as if it was on an aisle in Toys R Us yesterday. Please make sure of that. And they wrote me back going, no worries. I'm a collector. I know how it goes. And if I just perfectly packed plastic bag, it It has not come out of that plastic bag. It is sitting on a shelf in a plastic bag. My monster lab, my mad scientist monster lab. Fuck you, Mom.
Anyway, I remember friend of the show, Blue Delaquanti, and their partner Sarah were having a discussion about if being really into wolves definitely makes you a furry or not.
It depends on how you're into furries and what about them. I mean, not furries.
How you're into wolves?
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm like, no, middle-aged white lady who's really into wolves is definitely a thing.
Yeah.
Like, exactly. And it does not necessarily overlap with furries.
Yeah.
But
there's the wolf lover who is basically the wolf version of a horse girl.
Yeah. And there's like the kind of woman who will be on Facebook and she will see a ad for 3 Wolf Moon shirt. And she will be like, oh fuck yeah.
I mean, that's the furries too, though.
That's the furries too, but she's not a furry. She is just straight up like she's unironic about it for starters.
Again,
when she puts
furries are also unironic about it, but
fuck. When she puts it on, also going on are the Dreamcatcher earrings and the moccasins she got at the swap meet. And
no, they do not wear the moccasins anymore.
No, not anymore.
No, that's been phased out.
Because that is a fucking type, and that's the one that's the 23andMe, and you know she's disappointed.
And they don't wear the Dreamcatcher earrings anymore. It's crystals now.
Oh no, things are changing all around me.
Yeah, Spike, basically, because while there's a Venn diagram of the lady that you just explained and the wolf lady, like there is overlap, but the lady that you're describing is more invested in native
crystals and essential
stuff.
Oils.
Air quotes, whereas her culture. Air quotes, her culture. Yes.
But I just said native culture in general because sometimes they do admit that they're just wearing it because they like it the way it looks. But there is a version of the lady who buys the 3 Wolf Moon shirt who she's wearing like hiking boots because she's like hiking into the woods to connect with nature or whatever.
Yes.
So because she's basically like in the Tiger King show. The lady that he's arguing with about big cats. So like that lady, but for wolves.
That is quite a euphemism. The lady he's arguing with, but yes. Wow.
That's so that lady, but for wolves.
Yeah. For sure. That woman.
You know how bad it's gotten?
How?
Hobby Lobby sells white sage burning kits.
No,
genuinely. Last time I was in Hobby Lobby, because that was the only craft store in the town I lived before, I was walking by the scented candles and stuff, and I saw a white sage burning kit.
That's the
also Spike. There is a wolf reserve in between Portland and Seattle that I'm definitely going to when it reopens. Right now they're not having visitors because of COVID, but they have like their staff and volunteers. Half of them are that lady I just described.
Like also at some point go and see somebody who I imagine was not thrilled with the recent paleontological discovery, but she was like trying to recreate, and I say this with the biggest air quotes imaginable, dire wolves.
Oh, no. She's trying to make a breed of dog that looks like dire wolves. She specifically was like, well, people like wolf-looking dogs, but wolf-looking dogs need 1 million hours of exercise. So we're going to make a dog that looks like a wolf, is very big, but is lazy as fuck and does not want to move. Yeah. And those were her goals. That is honestly,
that is decided against me buying all kinds of specific breeds of dogs. I love the look of Rottweilers, but fuck those exercise requirements.
So yeah, because it was Jay Edidin was interviewing them, since they were making quote unquote dire wolf dogs, and so Jay was trying to like get to the bottom of this. So we did see her like breeding, dog breeding like grounds, I guess. I don't know what the proper term is for it, but she
Kennel?
basically had like a ranch with a shit ton of these dogs on it. I have pictures. I can show you.
I believe the term is kennel.
Well, see, it was bigger than a kennel because it was like
Yeah.
she probably had several acres that like she
To
let
be
the
fair,
dogs kind
kennel
of
is
hang out.
actually a very broad term.
Yeah.
Like kennel
Kennel
can basically span like a barn-sized area.
Yeah, it can be a ranch. A kennel. But yeah, that's what
If
when,
anything, I think that people doing the little dog crates call them kennels just to make you not
Yeah.
think that it's a crate.
Yeah. From what I have seen, among dog breeding, because I used to be a bit of a dog nerd, as in I like the different breeds and stuff. There is a group of the people who do specialized breeding. There are tons of people who are the kind of wolf woman we are talking about, but for Borzois or Cocker Spaniels. When they name their breeding outfits, there are two options: either the name of the dog breed, like Diamond Cocker Spaniels or West Coast Saint Bernards, or it's kennels. It's just kennels. So what kennels is a very generic term for I breed dogs, and I'm very serious about it.
Speaking of which, I need to go check out that I've been camping on a Chicago rat breeder.
Oh,
Here is me holding one of the giant dire wolf dog puppies.
Their applications are currently closed, but I am camping.
Amanda is about to acquire children.
Ideally, they take applications. So like
that looks a little like an Akita puppy, Kel.
Yeah, well, so like she said that it's actually a lot bigger than an Akita puppy.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna think that it's much older than it actually was.
Oh wow,
Like
so get them big.
Yeah, because so she was talking about here's the mom nursing her
They're so
pups.
little.
So the mom is about as big as a Irish deerhound.
Wow. That doesn't
And
look remotely like a wolf, but yeah.
well, it's wolfier than an Irish deerhound.
That looks like a poorly bred German Shepherd.
It's just a very big dog. But like German Shepherds get lumped into the wolfy-ish looking dogs.
And they shouldn't.
So, well, their ears are pointy is kind of what she meant. But
Babies.
You know what I've actually was really looking at, since we're talking about like kind of aspirational pets. There is a woman who, Cal, much like the direwolf breeder you went and visited, there's a woman who looks at huskies and she says, "Huskies are great. They're good looking. They're fun dogs. I love how vocal they are. I love how sweet they are. And I love how loyal they are. However, Huskies gotta run, and I'm not about that fucking life. And also, wouldn't it be nice if they were like, maybe a third that size?" And she has like devoted the last 20 years to breeding this adorable teeny weeny baby husky looking thing called a Kleekai. 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 And it's just a little shrunken down husky. And they're real fucking cute. And I'd be lying if I said I wasn't tempted. But I'm kind of that phase.
They're just little guys.
Yeah, they're just little guys. They're so cute.
Speaking of little guys, I shared a little.
Let's see. Let's see this little guy.
Oh my god.
Oh no, it's a little guy.
The little guy.
Amanda
It's just a little pickle.
A little guy.
A picture of a completely black little rat with.
But yeah, so Spike, these direwolf dogs, the lady told us she was using like Irish wolfhounds for size.
Here, I'll put it in the stream.
Yeah.
I forget the breed of dog she was using for temperament because she was trying to get like the chillest fucking dogs on the planet, which this dog was extremely chill, so she's getting there.
Yeah.
And then like some German Shepherd and some Husky and some other dogs get lumped in as wolfy looking
Uh-huh.
to get like the look.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That dog looks
they're really
scary. If I saw that dog, I would like to.
Oh.
so
Yeah.
yeah, they're like because while we were hanging out, like to show how absolutely chill they were, she like took a toolbox, held it up, and then just dropped it and let it slam on the ground.
Uh-huh.
And the dogs like turned their head to see what the noise was, but otherwise did not react.
I have to share a terrible secret, and I have decided I'm going to be open about it so it cannot be used against me.
Mhm,
I have started watching so many videos of dog grooming where it's the grooming of like silky terriers and Yorkshire terriers, and it ends
mhm.
with them having bows tied in their hair. And I think it's the fucking cutest thing ever. And
Yeah.
I'm beginning to be able to see myself owning a little dog that I do the hair of.
How
And that is
I
the
how
mean,
most
often would
that's
you do the
fine.
hair?
I know that's the most fucking middle-aged woman thing on
How
earth,
is that
but
middle-aged woman?
because the stereotype is that they have all this motherly energy that is now unfulfilled, so they just fucking inflict it on dogs.
You would have already done
I
that to
mean,
Lucy if Lucy had long fur.
Yeah, I just saw a picture of I think it was a Yorkie someone owned, and it had like it had a shortcut, it had short all over haircut, but they had allowed it to grow long hair on its head, and as a result, they put its hair in pigtails. So it was this little Yorkie
uh,
dog with pigtails with bows on the end, and I'm like, oh fuck yeah,
What a little idiot.
That just sounds like a
but yeah,
Pixar like dog design.
amazing.
I if they didn't need my 9 million hours of exercise, I'd probably get an Alaskan Malamute because I love fucking big dogs.
Oh
I
God,
Excuse
want
me?
just a big giant dog.
oh, you would hate that. You would hate that so much.
Oh,
It'd take
that's
you
not what
no
I was
time to
reacting
hate
to.
that.
I was reacting to phrasing.
Yeah. You'd fucking hate that dog so much before too long, Kel. You really would. It would drive you
That's
insane.
Oh yeah, I also
that's
watched The Girl
why
with the Dogs.
Yeah, Girl with the
that's
Dog is great shit.
I like it when
Spike. That's
cats
why I was
get the
like
bubble.
Mhm.
Spike. That's why I was like, if they didn't need 9 million hours of exercise,
Yeah. Oh God, I'm just looking at Yorkies with their hair in braids now. I'm a mess.
uh,
If I had
because
to get a dog, I would like a Chihuahua.
Oh.
Yeah, they're good.
I
They're
They're
good little
good
guys.
little creatures.
Oh,
I don't like little dogs. I want a big old dog.
I don't want a big dog. I
Biggest.
don't want a dog that can just decide one day it doesn't like me and bite my face off.
oh.
I had a Jack Russell Terrier as a kid, and I don't recommend those dogs for
Oh God, energy.
anyone.
They're
Yeah,
horrible.
yeah. Well, this was also he was a rescue, so he had like issues.
Oh
Uh,
no.
Anytime the phone would go off, he would use his little Jack Russell Terrier powers to literally launch himself at it, and it was on the wall, so he just rip it off the wall.
Oh my God.
It
Yeah,
was
Wow.
weird.
that's too much. But I posted a picture in the Discord.
Oh my god.
Look at that
Let me go
beautiful
look.
thing. That beautiful creature. Look at the beautiful creature.
Aw,
Yeah, can you imagine
that's
that
pretty
being
cute.
your life? Oh,
That's pretty fucking
and
cute.
I sit Matt down and I make him watch the videos, and he's just like, no.
Here, I'll share
Yeah.
that with the chat as well.
Oh, it's so cute. So cute. And I
Um,
didn't used to like those kind of dogs, but it's weird because they're growing on me now. And I just love the idea of this
I
little sweet dog with its hair in braids just following me around the house. It sounds so cute
I'm
and
not
fun.
surprised that you like them because you did like Harvey, which was a
Yeah.
weird little goblin.
I love Harvey so much. Oh.
But like so like there's a part of you that wants a teeny little buddy. And
This little
so it's not that far away from teeny little buddy whose hair you can do up.
Yeah, Harvey, for folks who don't know, for about, I don't know, like 10, 11
Awful
years, I
creature.
owned a American hairless terrier, which if you can imagine, Nero, you had your Jack Russell Terrier, but it just had no fucking fur at all.
Oh, I
That
hate that.
he was
Yeah.
Oh, it didn't look
wonderful.
like that
He was
though.
wonderful. He was beautiful and wonderful.
No.
And yes, he was.
He
And
was beautiful. He was not wonderful.
okay,
What
not
do I Google to find this dog?
yeah. I actually
Just American Hairless Terrier.
yeah, let me see if I can't find a good photo of him. Harvey
They're
also
cute
had to wear
dogs.
clothes. They're beautiful.
I just
Oh, I
remember
changed my mind. These are
Evan.
great.
Yeah.
I just remember Evan petting Harvey and being like, Harvey, you feel like a penis.
Harvey's
Here's the thing,
dogs
I
run-
don't think that Spike's dog's disposition is representative of these dogs as a whole. So this
No,
was a special dog.
Yeah, I was Harvey's emotional support animal. That's the best way to put it. I was the dog's emotional support
Harvey was too delicate for this world.
Didn't you get him because they were supposed to be kind of hardy? And
yeah, and I rolled snake eyes on Harvey, and I love him with all my heart, and he was a wonderful dog, but he was an absolute mess. And if I could be so bold, here's the thing: he was in love with me. My dog was in love with me, and that meant he hated my husband. He absolutely fucking hated Matt. If I were to go nap on the couch, imagine this, and this is like an 8-pound dog we're talking about. That's an important note. Imagine I go and I nap on the couch. Harvey would jump up on the couch and he would try to sprawl to cover me with his pathetic little, like 8 pounds of body. He'd try to cover me. And if my husband came near me while I was sleeping, the dog would growl and bark and bite him if he reached for me.
I remember confusing Harvey when that one time I visited, because I sat on the sofa next to him and he kind of growled at me and I bumped him with my butt and he just looked at me confused and backed away a few inches and stared at me.
Yeah. So I posted a picture of Harvey if you want to share that,
Go see
Amanda. And that is how Harvey went through life. I should note here.
Clothing.
Yeah, he had a wardrobe. He need one because he was in Chicago.
He has no fur and he lives in Chicago, so he'd freeze to death if he didn't have a wardrobe.
I should note here,
there he is.
He had a stubby little tail. I did not do that. He was not docked or anything. When he was a puppy, his mama stepped on his tail.
Matt says that Harvey was totally cool with him as long as you weren't in the room.
Oh, absolutely. His focus was entirely on me if I was in the room.
But if you were gone, him and Harvey chilled.
Because he had nothing to compete with Matt over.
Yeah, I used to think Harvey was the worst dog in the world. And then Ira Glass did This American Life explaining his dog. And I was like, okay, so he's the second worst. Harvey's the second worst dog in the world, and the worst dog is Ira Glass's dog.
The thing about Harvey is he really taught me why there's that stereotype of people who are very devoted to tiny, terrible dogs. I understand that stereotype now because I've been on the side of it. And here's the deal. That dog you are the sun. That dog has you in it. It cares about literally fucking nothing and nobody but you. So you devote a lot of your energy to keeping that dog happy and calm, because if you were to so much give that dog a dirty look, its entire fucking life would fall apart. And that's who Harvey was. So I'm like not even offended when people are like, I didn't like your dog, because I understand it because he didn't like you.
I stood up and that startled Harvey so much that he peed himself.
Okay, I'm back.
He was very, very nervous, and he took everything that was from everyone that was not me as a threat, basically. And that was just Harvey. And
he never growled at me or anything. He was just in a constant state of fear.
I think I picked him up once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Evan was very determined to be his friend. So Evan actually did the work to get close to Harvey. So he could.
But you say like Harvey didn't. I never got the impression that Harvey didn't like me. I got the impression that Harvey was terrified of the world.
That was a big point.
Like, my impression was just he's a grumpy little dude, but if you confuse him, you can disarm him.
I should note here what ended up killing Harvey, and probably why
we've talked about this before.
Yeah, why
on
I'm
this
not
show.
End up getting another American Hairless Terrier, despite the fact I should highlight here, I think Harvey was just a snake eyes role, personality-wise. I've never heard of any other American Hairless Terrier.
Harvey was an outlier and should not be accounted for.
Yeah, he was a massive.
He was a Spider Georges.
Dangling end of the bell curve, Harvey, because he is a terrier, and terriers are known for being like tenacious little critters, and he was the exact opposite of that. But Harvey eventually developed epilepsy, and it got to the point where any sort of emotional, what's a good way to put it? Not stress.
Stress. No, it's stress is a good word.
Yeah.
He
would
it's
have
a broad category.
And I remember one time I left for a convention, and I think Matt was there for this. I left for a convention, and when I came home, he was so happy to see me. He had a seizure. So he started degrading.
So he was so happy to see Spike, he died.
Now, what ended up killing him is I put him in the bathroom and closed the door because I had to clean up a pee stain he left. And I didn't want him peeing or pooing again. And when I came back into the bathroom being separated from me, I suspect this is what caused it, being separated from me. He had another seizure. And this one was way bigger than any he'd ever had before, because we'd taken him to the vet for this. And the vet was just like, yeah, I don't know. Like, we could try something for it, but I can't tell you it'll work because we don't know what part of his brain is causing this. And they just kind of shrugged at us and sent us on our way. And when I came back into the bathroom, he was just lying on his side, twitching and foaming. And I had to call my husband to come home from work because, like, the dog just had like the fucking mother of all seizures.
No, because I thought the mother of all seizures was you coming home, because I remember you tweeting about it while driving back from San Diego Comic-Con.
No, that wasn't anything like the seizure that killed him. So that was bad, but that wasn't anything like the seizure that killed him. And eventually he had to just, we actually took him in. And what the emergency vet told us happened, their version of events is he had thrashed around or something and just really, really destroyed his neck somehow. And as a result, he was very rapidly, I should say, losing the ability to breathe independently. And they said we can keep him on a ventilator and hope this gets better, but that would cost $10,000 a day. And there's no guarantee it would get better. And he was like, the seizures were increasing in severity and intensity, or rather not severity and frequency, excuse me. And we made the decision to just have him put to sleep at the emergency vet. And that was really fucking sad. And I don't know if I want another American Hairless Terrier because they're a very new breed, and
it's
for all I know, this is just a thing that happens to them.
Come over to my place and touch my hairless rat. It'll be the same.
Your fat hairless baby.
Who the Twitter algorithm likes to
think is a dick. Yes. Fat wrinkled baby.
Please come over and touch my children.
Wait,
no, phrasing.
This is very beside the point, but I also want to point out the nice thing. There are multiple hairless dog breeds. I'm sure everyone knows that. But the nice thing about American Hairless Terriers is they have a unique mutation. It's not the same one the Zolo has or the Chinese Crested has, which means they have teeth. So if you want a hairless dog that actually has teeth, an American Hairless Terrier is your best bet.
The other breeds that Spike mentioned, they don't have all their teeth.
Yeah, because the mutation that makes them hairless is connected to the mutation that gives them adult dentition somehow. So any Zolo that is hairless.
Oh, I learned a thing today.
Yeah, that's why when you see pictures of them growling, they frequently don't look like they have all their teeth. It's so
yeah. That's a thing with Zolos, and that is a thing with Chinese Cresteds, which are the ones that look like 80s hair metal guys. They also don't have full dentition. They might have some teeth. They never have all. Some of them have none. But American Hairless Terriers have full dentition, which is why I went for them.
I'm still thinking, ever since we talked about conventions and the West Coast, about how much I miss going to conventions and just getting lunch afterwards with Iris and Nero and cackling like 2 hours. I miss it.
And chasing away the Uber driver.
It's still one of my like favorite ECC memories is just us screaming about Skyrim and this Uber driver.
Oh yes, that's
pulls
right.
Up,
oh my
sees
god.
them shouting and then drives
that's
away.
That's right. I forgot we scared away the Uber driver.
This nerd shit. Yeah, I'm not messing with this nerd shit. I forgot
about that specific time. We did totally scare off the driver.
Yeah, and I think he must have thought we were drunk. He must have, because we were like screeching at each other on the side of the road, and he just looked at us and literally went, "No."
Yeah, we had to double check, and they're like, "Oh, that was totally our driver." He made eye contact and then disappeared.
Yeah, and we have to be, and then we called another one, and it was just like, I felt like teenagers sneaking into the house after a party, trying desperately not to, tip off their parents that they were a little bit fucked up, because it's like, okay, he's coming, we gotta be normal. Everybody be fucking normal. Be fucking normal.
Be normal. Don't shout about video games.
Yeah. And then when we were in the car, we were so happy that he picked us up. I left him a review that was something like, he is aligned with the energies of the universe.
Oh, God.
It was real fucking goofy, but it was super fun.
So it's funny because I live in that area now, and like that's not the wildest shit that like happens here on like a Friday night. Like,
and we still did.
That one, I think that one dude was just like, not tonight.
Yeah,
not in the mood.
One of my favorite AfterCon memories is, I know Spike was there. I don't think NERO or Amanda was there. Spike, do you remember when we ruined the bachelorette party?
Yes, I remember that. That was great. Fuck.
We were specifically looking for a place that had karaoke near Spike's place. And it turns out the place that we picked is like a stop for a bachelorette party bus.
Yeah.
And they don't take the karaoke machine out unless you specifically requested it. So like the bachelorette party did not know there was a karaoke machine.
Yeah.
And got very excited when we started doing karaoke, and they tried to booty dance to us singing our first few songs. So we intentionally started to pick songs that they could not booty dance to.
Jesus Christ.
And finally, one of them was like, they're only singing sad songs. Let's get out of here. Like, remember Matt singing Anarchy in the UK?
Yeah.
Like,
we were being
I believe the Cyanide and Happiness guys sang Creed with arms wide open.
Like, so fucking stupid. Oh god. Maybe I do like cons. Maybe I'm
one of my favorite after party memories. This is, I think I've definitely told friends this story before. I don't know if I told it on the show before. It's specific to Blue Delaquanti. It was after, I think it was one of the Canadian cons, and everyone went to this after convention party. And everyone's like, "Oh no, it's a party, but it's not going to be a big party. Don't worry about it, because I hate parties and I'm claustrophobic." And we showed up to this basically a 2-story bar that looked like an inn or a house, and it was shoulder to shoulder in there. And I took one look inside and I said, no, thank you. And I went and I sat on the curb because I was not going to go inside that building. And like a bunch of like comic people kept passing by. I think like Jeff Jocks even like came by. I was like, are you okay? I'm like, oh, I'm fine. I just refused to go in there. Have fun. And eventually Blue came back out, who I was hoteling with, and was like clearly been drinking, but was still level-headed enough. And they realized I don't know how, at that point in time, I didn't know how public transit worked. So that's why I wasn't going anywhere.
You were trapped.
I was trapped. So they were like, oh, I will take you back. I will walk you back to the train and the hotel. And I was like, thank you very much. And I didn't realize how much they had been drinking. Like just, and then how I realize is we are walking along and they start holding my hand. And I'm like, oh, that's nice. That makes me feel good. And then I say out loud, I love it when friends hold hands. And they, no joke, lift both of our hands to their face and goes, we're holding hands. And I fucking died laughing right there in the street.
Oh my god, yeah. When I was still working at like Pearl,
Blue is an angel. Blue is
wonderful.
Wonderful.
Terrible friend to Blue, but Blue is wonderful. I used to work at Pearl Arts and Crafts, and I went to a party that was hosted by one of my coworkers once. And when it was over, there were multiple people who were significantly buzzed, and one of them was an incredibly hilarious cashier who, to this day, I intend to steal for a story at some point. Who just her whole being, I'm going to steal it. And she would start getting into these really intense conversations with total strangers on the train. But the thing is, you have to picture her. She's this little white girl who looks maybe 16 on the outside. Like she looks really young for her age. And she has her hair, as was the style at the time. She had her hair in bleach blonde pigtails. And so she's the most sort of like innocuous, unintimidating person. And she was short. She was shorter than me. So we're talking 5'2", 5'3". And she would just be sitting on the train and talking to us. And then she would turn and talk to random person sitting next to her about the same conversation as if they were included as well. And she was getting so deep into these one-sided conversations that this person had not opted into or responded to in any way. It was just sort of like looking at them like they had three heads, that she was missing her stop. And it was incredibly funny to watch because this person did not fucking know her, but she was she was arguing her case. And it was like really chipper, just a really chipper, high-pitched voice doing it. And just being a audience to this was incredibly entertaining.
My little brother does that in a more chill way. Like strikes up conversations with people on public transit.
While drunk?
No, he's sober. Like when he came to visit me, he went to go see Mount Hood, and he like was asking someone like, "Oh, so you're a local? How long you lived in Portland?" Like just like.
See, I kind of when I'm doing stuff, when I'm out and about, I just want to be fucking left alone. I know that's not like
Same.
social, but it's like that's like my nightmare, being on the bus next to somebody who's all like, "So, where you headed?"
You ever been to San Francisco?
Oh God, do they do that there?
Yes, that is like
Ew.
literally everywhere. People want to speak to you. And
No.
friend of the show, Hi, the
Yeah.
glorious pre-press person, has spent a very long time in San Francisco and is very good at responding to people when they do this. Me, I just look them dead in the eye and don't answer.
Honestly, it's like I still have that fucking socialization where it's like, be polite, no matter how imposing that person's in how much that person is imposing. Rather, they're not being.
Oh
imposing.
yeah, no. One of my
just be polite.
Flaws, but also pros. I have. It is a pro and it is a con that I am capable of like having a lengthy conversation with anyone who's willing to talk to me, whether I start it or someone else starts it. So like I end up in situations all the time where like some neighbor decided to start talking to me, and as long as they're willing to talk, I'm willing to talk with them with the same enthusiasm, and I will not be released from the spell until they're done talking.
Oh God, I just want
to. My little brother also reminds me of so there was a tweet going around a few years ago explaining the difference between nice and kind.
Yeah.
And said that New England is not nice, but it is kind. Because it's like if you're cold in New England, they will tell you to stop fucking complaining while handing you a jacket. And when that tweet was going around, it reminded me when my little brother came to visit me in Portland. We were getting fast food, and so we're in the drive-through, and a homeless guy comes to like ask for money or food or whatever. And my little brother rolls down the window, and the homeless guy starts to spiel, saying like, I think he's like, I have cancer and my wife is pregnant. Like he's just trying to all the things to get sympathy. And then my little brother just puts his hand up and goes, I don't care. What food do you want? Like,
yeah.
God,
he's like, I don't care what's going on. Just I know you want food. What food do you want? I'll get it. Like,
yeah, that is.
Oh no, Spike! Do you remember how like weirded out my brother was when I bought that guy lunch?
I barely remember.
When we were at the train station, they had like a cafeteria area.
Oh, right.
And when we came back, well, when we were in line, this guy was asking for money. I was like, well, I'll buy you food if you stand in line with us. So I did that. And Cameron, or my brother, sorry, I shouldn't say his name. My brother just gave me suspicious, because again, he had never traveled outside the city. He just gave me suspicious looks all the way back to your place, and even when we got to your place, he was like, "Why did you do?" He just, because he has no out of the house experience, he's just like, "Why did you do that?" It's like, it's like he just wanted food. It's not a big deal. It's like,
I gotta tell you, all right, here's the thing. I am a regular contributor to charity, but I no longer give people money on the sidewalk because I have lived in Chicago for 20 years now, over 20 years now, and I have been ruined by this city. My heart has stiffened and
oh
blackened.
God, the other day. Oh, sorry. Keep
And
going.
yeah, and I noticed a pattern because I live within walking distance of multiple 7-Elevens, but there was this one that was like my main 7-Eleven for a while. And I noticed a pattern, and that was, oh, the same 2 or 3 guys are always begging for change out in front of the 7-Eleven. You'd go in the door and they go, "Can I get your change on the way out? I'm real hungry," or something like that. It's like, "Yeah, sure, sure, sure." And occasionally they would get my change on the way out. That was back when people used cash. And I noticed a pattern, and the pattern was this: they would beg for change until they got enough to go in and get a bottle of Night Train, which is, if you don't know, incredibly cheap, caustic liquor.
Oh,
And
see.
they would drink the entire bottle of Night Train. And I know this because I would see them, at checkout doing this. And they would drink the whole bottle of Night Train, and then they would go outside and beg again until they could get another bottle of Night Train. And they would go and buy another bottle of Night Train. And this is why the 7-Eleven was okay with them hanging out in front, because they bought 3 or 4 bottles of this shit a day. And eventually, not more often than not, but frequently enough that I noticed it as a pattern, they would just get in fights. Everyone by 8, 9 p.m. in front of this 24-hour 7-Eleven would be drunk enough that they were fucking fist fighting. And very regularly, not every time, but regularly enough, again, so that I noticed it as a pattern, the cops were being called. And they would disappear for a day or two, and then they'd be back. And I remember the day I was like, I am making a conscious decision to no longer contribute to this. And I no longer do it.
I was gonna be judgy, but then you mentioned that they start fighting, and I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I was
You know what?
about to be
Until
like,
they're getting into fights, I'm like,
Yeah.
listen, their lives suck if they want to get
Yeah.
blackface drunk, like
Yeah.
blackout
I used to
drunk.
outright,
Like,
if I didn't have cash
Yeah.
all the times, and I used to outright say, because I lived at my old Portland apartment, I used to live right across the street from a convenience store. And every time I'd go, someone would be asking for change. I'm like, "What do you want to buy?" And they're like, "Well, I want to buy cigarettes." Like, just come with me and get cigarettes. I'll pay for it. So I would just like pay for people's cigarettes.
Yeah. It would
So I
get
was
to
like,
the
but if people want to drink or smoke, I don't care. But if they're getting into
Yeah.
fights, that's a little.
Like I've been to houses and it fucking sucks ass. So if someone
Yeah.
wants cigarettes, I'll give it to them.
Yeah.
Nobody ever asks me for change. They always want cigarettes, and I'm like, I don't smoke. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I get that sometimes too, and I'm like, I don't have any cigarettes.
I'm sorry.
That's why
Like,
my
I
thing
want
was
some,
like,
I
come
like that
inside,
cigarette.
grab your cigarettes, I'll pay for them. Because I
Yeah,
do not have any. I am so
Yeah.
sorry.
I just remember it's like when I was at the School of the Art Institute of Chicago, and sometimes classes are at night, and I would just remember walking home and then going to the 7-Eleven and just seeing the blue red of the top of the cop car and be like, oh, there they go again. Just every maybe 1 out of 3, 4 times I go to the
Dude,
7-Eleven.
this one dude, shortly after I got here to Chicago, lost out on probably getting change from me because he scared the shit out of me. Here's the thing, it's his fucking fault, because what he was doing is he had a drum and he was walking up to cars and drumming loudly, and I was looking away when he did this at my window, and it scared the shit out of me so bad that I was like, I'm leaving, bye. If you had done anything else, you would have gotten like $1 from me. No, I have to go, you scared me with your stupid drum.
Oh, see, now that you're here in Chicago, Amanda, this summer we have to go out and see the Bucket Boys.
What's the Bucket Boys?
The
Do
Bucket
they beat on
Boys,
buckets like their drums?
yes.
Okay,
And
then.
what they usually are is they are like, they are
It's like
just
Stomp.
babies. Yeah, they are exactly. They're babies. They're tiny little things. They're like 12 years old, and they go down to the touristy areas.
Stomp
like,
babies.
yeah, the shit you can get from Home Depot, like the white general construction site buckets and drumsticks, and they go down there, and they're not just fucking like lackadaisically blah blah blah. No, they have choreography. They have everything worked out. Like they have entire repertoires. And
I do want to see this, yes.
I love a good Bucket Boy set. And there was a whole thing going on in Chicago recently that was it's one of those things where every once in a while you feel like proud of the town you live in, where somebody, all right, again, Chicago, like many cities, has an issue with gentrification. And there were flyers that were going up in downtown Chicago that said something along the lines of, have you been annoyed by loud bucket playing at any point recently? We want to hear your story. We are assembling evidence to propose a referendum to ban loud noises from downtown Chicago and end this menace. Please call this number and tell us your story.
And people were like, fuck you, go move to the suburbs.
You know, like that was a big part of it. There's a lot of, where do you live? I want to fucking talk. I just want to talk. Where are you? Where, drop your address. I just want to fucking talk. And a lot of anybody who calls this number is a fucking bitch who needs to move back to Joliet. Like shit like that. And it was like, it made me really, really happy to see that. Cause like, no, fuck you. Bucket Boys are a Chicago thing. We fucking love them. If you don't like them, you don't have to stay. Doors right there. And I really love that. That was like, oh, hooray.
Anyway, I guess if anybody's in the middle of the street and wants money from me, just don't make loud noises by my window and you'll probably get money.
Don't scare Amanda.
Don't scare me and I'll give you money. It's like the opposite how it usually works.
Exactly. But yeah, I just, Bucket Boys are great. And you're going to see them. You're going to see them when we go downtown.
Yay!
Also, we'll go to Millennium Park.
I've been.
We'll go again.
I'm not interested. I've seen the bean.
Are you going to go to the hole?
Yeah,
I do want to see the hole. Yes.
Okay.
I've been sold on the hole.
It's a beautiful hole. And who knows how long it'll be there, you know?
Nero.
Yeah.
What have you been working on lately? As we've gone on our tangents.
Don't you dare make this a productive talk about comics.
I like talking about comics.
That was sarcasm.
Nero, I am genuinely curious about how you fucking walk your comics beat, because I know it is quite different from all of our experiences. So.
Oh, do you mean like just how I do it, or I post the thing and
no, Spike probably wants to know about furry cons. Since we don't go to those.
Strategy. Where do you get paid? What do you do to get paid? That kind of thing.
Most of it is either like, I mean, honestly, it's mostly pay sites. I don't like really do commissions, and honestly, I do bad at furry cons these days because I don't draw as many furries as I used to. So people are like, "Oh, you're nasty humans, ew."
So where do people go to see your work, and what kind of?
Some of it's on Slipshine.
Yeah, it's on Slipshine, but you can also go to my website, itsnero.com, which has links to all of my socials, but it also has a link to my Patreon where you can read like 700 posts of illustrations and comics and shit. There's 300 pages of Split Check on there now. You can read it with your eyes.
What's Split Check about?
Split Check is about two chefs who hate each other, but the sex is great. So they stick together, and it's also about gentrification.
And according to Iris, who we had on last week, there's sort of a unionization angle, a little tiny bit.
Yeah, the current arc, the employees of the pop-up, that's kind of the focus of this, want to form a co-op. Because the pop-up is in a space that used to be a very popular like community bar. And the people who tried to buy it weren't able to buy it. And all of these employees are like local Detroiters, and they're like, hey, you're from Austin and you're from New York. Can you like help us get back to this community here instead of just, taking some Instagram pictures and leaving?
Yeah, you're a carpetbagger. You know how you can not be a carpetbagger? Yeah.
You can help.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really, I love that, because this is porn. This is smut, what you're making.
Yeah, this is pornography.
And there's like this social awareness aspect to it, which I fucking love.
I love it, especially with Slipshine, because there's a comment section and people are like, well, what is a co-op? I don't know what these people are talking about. And I'm like,
here is my moment.
Eating your meat and look up theory.
Indoctrinate. Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. There was actually, I think their name is Jonas Goonface. There's a cartoonist whose work I fucking adore. And they'll upload like a picture, like just example. It's like two people just like fucking hardcore fucking, like just straight up going for it. And they'll be saying things like, "Oh God, unionization is the only power that people have in the face of the bosses."
Yes. Jonas is so fucking good.
Yes.
I love that shit. I love it. It's so good. Anyway, a little sneak peek behind Iron Circus. They sent me a proposal, and the answer's fucking yes, that I just haven't sent the email yet. But yeah, just yes, so fucking down.
Yeah, it's like Slipjohn and then Filthy Figments. I don't know if any of you are familiar with them.
Yeah.
Don't tell me all about them.
I'm familiar.
I'm honestly a big fan of them. They're fun. I like the site head Gina also does comics and like understands how to sell like porn to people. Like she really gets it.
This is Gina Biggs, right?
I think so.
Yeah, and it's just Gina is an old head when it comes to webcomics. I'm pretty sure Gina's been around. So it's always fun to see that, you know, we're still here. We're still fucking at it. All of us. We're all here. Well, not all of us,
yeah, Gina Biggs.
But lots of us. Not all of us, but lots of us.
But my favorite thing was when everybody was bailing on Twitter that one night. I mean, I'm still bailing on Twitter. Fuck Twitter.
Same. I'm just doing it very slow.
Yeah.
I'm writing it into the ground. You can't get me to fucking leave, but that doesn't mean it's exclusive. Yeah.
Like she set up the newsletter and had like set it up before, but like was advertising that like you can sign up for the newsletter and you get like an anthology PDF of porn comics. And I was like, oh, your brain is so big, Gina.
Marketing is so important. And it's one of those things that I kind of wish it wasn't, but at the same time, over the years, I've gotten good at it, and it definitely helps.
I think something I want to do, this might sound silly, but I have people who I want to start doing I mentioned last time I want to start doing the newsletter thing.
Yeah.
It sounds silly, but I kind of want to basically make 50% of the newsletter a like what's it called? I don't know the word. It's escaping me at the moment. Anyway, I'm just basically I'm going to gather up all my social medias, like my posts from co-hosts for that week. What basically it'll be like a weekly or monthly update. It'll like, this is what I posted to Patreon. Here's all the stupid shit I said on co-hosts this week. Because I really want my shit to all be in one place. If you want it all in one place.
So an anthology, a one-person anthology.
I guess. But
I do this for my Patreon newsletter because patrons get their own secret little newsletter and people love it. So like definitely do it.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea then.
That'd be a way of if for example, if they say you have not bailed on Twitter, but you still want to keep up with the stupid shit I say, you'll get it in an email and it'll still be all the dumb shit I said. It'll just be delayed.
And I gotta say, people are
consolidated. Thank you.
Yeah, in my experience, people are definitely bailing on Twitter, like in a tangible way. People are bailing on Twitter.
Yeah, I have lost more followers in the past week than I think I've ever lost on Twitter.
Yeah, I am down from Elon Musk buying Twitter. I am down 1,000 followers.
And I'm only down like 50.
Yeah, I am down. Well, I have 70,000 followers, and now I'm down to like 69. So it's definitely happening, which is probably part of the reason I'm diversifying a lot. I'm on Hive, I'm on co-host, I've been on Pillow Fort, that's nothing new. But I'm definitely if and that is still an if in my opinion. If Twitter goes down for good and becomes irrelevant, it's not going to be overnight. It's not going to be overnight. So if you are one of those people where a lot of your soft power, a lot of your marketing happens on Twitter, now is the time to get started migrating that following because you don't want to wait until Twitter is hiccuping on and offline for days at a time. It's
my new social media assistant is going to start posting on everything next week. They spent the past week reading my comics, and now they're gonna make shit posts about them and make ads for them and other stuff.
Yeah, and it's important. That's part of marketing. Social media is marketing, and I always get someone who goes, I don't want to fucking do that. It's like I just want to draw and have people like what I draw, and that's it. That's all I want. And
Well, too bad.
honey, baby doll, that's what we all fucking want. But that's not how the world is.
And that's why I'm paying someone else to do it.
You kind of gotta. You're competing with people who put on the cheerleader skirt and pull out the pom poms and get out there and do self promo every fucking day. And when I say self promo, I don't mean fucking like the guy from The Critic, with the standee going, buy my book. I don't mean that. I mean, they're being present and available and conversational and posting their work. That's self promo. And they're doing it every day. And that's your competition. And
yeah, people don't want to interact with somebody that isn't even there.
Yeah, exactly. If you tweet at someone's Twitter account and they don't reply, and what's going up is exclusively just, I am appearing at the Ashbury Center, August 15th. Come see me. And I like a stock ass photo of you. It's like, no one's going to talk to that. You need to actually fucking be there. People expect you to be there in this day and age.
Yeah. I mean, that's one way to do it. It's not necessary. We've talked about it
like
ad nauseum before.
Yeah, like Ryan Estrada flat out said like he doesn't have that many followers on his Banned Book Club Twitter, but all the people that are there specifically for Banned Book Clubs, so they don't mind that it is just I will be at such and such show.
Yeah.
Or I will be at such and such.
And acknowledges people is the thing.
No.
Yeah. No, well, because he's not interacting or like
again, there's a multiple ways to do it. It's just one way to do it that has worked. That is the I am a person you can engage with me, but not everyone who is successful does that and has to do that. It's just if you're already doing that, transitioning to something else is extremely hard, and if you're already doing the other things, competing with those people in that space is difficult.
Okay, yeah, all right, I get that.
It also definitely sells, or it depends on like what you're selling.
Yeah.
Like as somebody who like I sell my pornography, people kind of expect you to like talk back to them a little bit. Even if they're weird, like just say like thank you, and people are definitely way more active. If it's like something like Banned Book Club, like I'm sure people don't expect a reply on everything.
Yeah, and I have to say one of the things that so I don't have like a ton of followers on co-host. A matter of fact, I don't know how many followers I have on co-host. That's part of
There's
co-host.
no way to know. It's weird.
So they are adding that. They are adding artists. They will add artist metrics, is what they're saying. Yeah. So like you'll be able to tell how well something is doing.
I don't mind if those numbers aren't public. I don't care about the public seeing like how well a tweet is doing. I just a post. But I would like to know, so like if I'm like trying to advertise something, I don't waste all my time on something that ain't working.
For your own sake, you'd like to know.
Yeah.
Like I don't give a shit about the dick measuring contest. That don't matter to me.
They
have heard that feedback, and they are definitely they're working on something.
I hope it's not public. I really do. I hope it's not. I think that would diffuse a lot of fucking weirdness if it wasn't public.
Yeah.
And one of the things I think co-host is trying to be, in my opinion, it's an iteration on social media that has learned from previous platforms' mistakes.
Oh yeah.
And I would love it.
I would love it. People are like ex-Mastodon people.
Yeah. If you could click on your profile and you could see you have this many followers and here's a list, and nobody else could see that, I think that'd be great.
Yeah.
I think that'd be amazing. But
because really metrics like that really are only useful to you as an individual. They're not
exactly,
aside from again weird dick measuring contests. I don't know how else to say it.
That's exactly what it is to everyone who's not you. It's definitely just dick measuring. And like if you post like it's right there on the front page, like I have 10,000 followers, like that's just you flexing. That's not good for anything.
Yeah.
So I think that'd be really cool if it was just private. Because I'd like to know, but there's no point in anyone else knowing.
Yeah, like I just want to know if people are clicking on a link. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. That's all I want to know.
And I guess you could set that up with like. Then again, it depends on what you're linking. Because if it's your personal site, you can look at your own site's metrics. But if it's something where you don't have access to that,
Yeah, there's a lot of use cases for you and only you knowing, in my opinion. There's a lot of use
Like,
cases.
I'd pay for that.
Yeah, I'd pay for that too. I already give Pillowfort $5 a month. So, I mean, giving co-host $5 ain't gonna kill me. I'm used to paying for things I want. And I think I'm gonna go so fucking like Web 2.0 here, but I really think that the future of a free and fair and genuinely enjoyable internet is one that is user supported and not advertiser supported. We were warned about advertiser support for platforms 10, 20 years ago. We were warned that if we trend in that direction, eventually the platforms will be beholden to the advertisers, and by necessity, freedom will be restricted. And by freedom, they mean any conversation that literally any advertiser with enough clout deems sort of distasteful. And
Yeah.
the problem with that is it's up to whoever's sitting in the chair behind the desk with the CEO label that day. You don't know. And if there's speech that says something like, hey, you know who fucking sucks? Cadbury. And Cadbury sees that, and Cadbury has enough clout. Suddenly you can't say that about Cadbury anymore, which is the fate of like every ad supported anything ever. It eventually trends towards that. And in the fucking 90s and the fucking early noughties, people were saying we can't succumb to an advertiser supported internet because that way lies hell. And everyone fucking ignored them. And they were right. So I think if we want to have a do-over that makes sense and won't succumb to the same problems, we have to fucking pony up $5 a month for these people. Because if
Yeah.
we defuse the power of an advertiser on a site, it'll do so much fucking good. It'll defuse so many problems. If someone can just be all like, no, fuck off, I said no Nazis, and just ban them, and their first concern isn't, oh, but all the drama he causes brings so much traffic and it makes us look so many ads are being looked at every time he tweets about how black people aren't people and how all the Jews should go in ovens. Look at how much our metrics improve. Because that's why they're there, everyone. That's why Elon unbanned Trump, because he wants people to look. Not he doesn't. He'll give you some fucking line about, oh, freedom of speech. No, it's there because it causes drama and it brings eyeballs and everyone's staring now and refreshing and reloading and following and making Twitter's metrics look good. That's the only thing fucking capitalists fucking care about. But if there's a site and someone shows up and is being a piece of shit on it, and the admins aren't beholden to metrics and don't care that they get a bump and have no shareholders to answer to, they get the fuck out and just ban them. That's better for literally everyone. And that's how you keep a social platform bearable.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've got feelings about this.
No, really.
They're good feelings.
Yeah. So just like, I know not everyone's in a position to do this, but if you can and you like co-host and you like Pillow Fort, give them $5 a month.
Well, to be fair, there isn't a $5 a month option for co-host. It's a $25.
Oh, is it?
No, it's $5.
Oh, it's $5 a month.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Why did I think it was more than
Iris
that?
pays for it.
Yeah. That just
You might have been looking at the yearly thing or like the 6-month thing.
If you don't want to be in the same fucking position 10 years from now with another social platform, pay for it. I'm sorry.
I do hope that. Hey, you seem to. I'm sorry. I just logged into co-host and check out Plus and the gifts. Presidential alert! The girls are fighting.
Yeah, the Beyblade one.
Yes.
Fucking love that Beyblade one.
Oh fuck!
So fucking stupid. I love.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah. I am.
Okay.
Right now, even though it's like it's a Will Babby. There's like hardly any traffic on it. I've had more fun on co-host in the past like week or so than I've had.
I got something like what was it, like something like 100,000 like people had signed up like since the Twitter fallout.
Yeah,
I think even my mom signed up because she's like, if you leave Twitter, how will I keep up with you?
Yeah.
So my mom's just like, why haven't they approved my account yet? It's like, just give it time.
And now that you're on co-host, you can censor like only so. I think it's got that thing where it's like only certain people can see this. Or am I thinking of Pillow Fort?
Pillow Fort has that for sure, but it would be nice if co-host had that too.
Yeah,
but again,
so you could tweet distasteful things about.
No.
Yeah, never would you, of course. Never would you. But,
I also don't plan to.
Yeah. Also, everyone just please
Never
fucking
would.
if you can spare it, and I totally understand if you can't, if you can spare it, pay for your platform.
No.
Amanda.
No.
But yeah, that's just my opinion on the matter, and I'll stop now.
I will say co-host, like it's oh, sorry.
No, keep talking. I just wanted to let y'all know. I was waiting for a gap in the conversation. Let you know it's been 2 hours and 14 minutes. If you want to keep going, that's fine. I'm
still vibing.
Yeah, this is just your notification.
Yeah, I can keep going for like another half hour, and then I have to make Thanksgiving dinner because I'm hungry.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have one panel left, so I'll probably
wait until Kel's last panel is finished, and then we'll go.
Yeah.
If co-host has any intention to let you change the color scheme, because oh boy,
I think
it's in the feature list.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the thing that I think a lot of people aren't giving it time for is like it's
Yeah, that's why I asked if it's in the pipeline.
Yeah, it's new, so it's gonna. Pillow Fort is a little farther along, and I actually like. I'm so fucking juvenile. I like this feature on Pillow Fort where you can put little icons in your profile. That's like, I'm an avid reader. I play lots of video games. I sure like. And it's like I have those in my little profile. It's so stupid, and I love it.
So I made a big document that's like do's and don'ts for my social media to give to my new assistant, and like what they need to do every day. I also made a spreadsheet that's like, how many followers do I have on each thing, and also how many people are subscribed to my newsletter, how many people are backing my Patreon, so I can like see as like stuff changes, like what's working,
and
what's not.
Metrics,
because you say like you gotta interact with social media, but some people, they just want art, or they just want to know where you're at.
Also, like I've mentioned before. I've mentioned before that I am the type of user who doesn't interact with shit, but I follow tons of stuff. I just like to see it.
Yeah. Fair enough. I mean, I'm just talking about what got me to 70K. So what works for me might not work for anyone else.
Right, but like it worked for you, but it didn't, like, engaging wasn't necessarily a secret sauce. I've like spoken to people who have never tweeted at you, but love your tweets.
How bizarre.
Well, some people just don't like tweeting. Like to me with people, like, not you because you're my friend, you're different, but like I follow people who have a similar profile to you. I'd never tweeted them because, like, why would I tweet at them? Why?
Like,
who am I to them?
Like, like if it's a stranger who I like their tweets, like I want to see their tweets. That's why I'm there. I don't need them to talk to me.
Yeah, it's like, who am I? Who are them?
I have told Kel and Amanda about this, and I'm going to leave the person anonymous because. Just all right.
No,
I am followed by somebody who is a big deal to me on Twitter, and I just saw them in the follow list one day, and I froze, and I had one of those moments where it's like, I have to stop uploading weird pornography because now this person is going to see it. But then I realized they're probably following me because I'm being the way I am, so I shouldn't stop.
Yeah.
So I shouldn't stop. And
too late now.
Now that the migration is happening, they have also found me on all the other platforms, including co-host, bizarrely. And they are following me on there too. So it's clear they're picking up what I'm putting down. But I have yet
Spike, you should put in our chat who this person is, because I don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I've mentioned them before, and it's just I don't know what to fucking say to them because I'm too intimidated. Here.
I had a similar thing happen after the Porcraft campaign went up, and I got all of these like food people following me. One of the people who is like my favorite writer, like after I responded to like a review, like went and followed me, and I'm like, oh god, I hope you're ready for my pornography. And then they went and followed me on like Mastodon and shit, and I'm like, oh, you are here for the pornography. Okay, cool.
Kel, I typed it.
Okay. because a lot of famous people follow you, Spike. So that's
yeah.
I'm sitting here like I'm sure that Lana Wachowski is definitely into your weird porn.
It's Lily. Thank you.
Okay. Wrong Wachowski. But either way,
but yeah, I just
Oh no, I've personally had the moment where someone like either like someone famous followed me after like art got shared, or I used to do like PS. I used to like do like my, I don't know, sometimes I say things about stuff that's happening and people like it and it goes viral and I'm like, oh no. And I definitely had like a bunch of followers after one round of that. And I was like, oh, I noticed a few names like, oh, you are definitely going to unfollow soon. Because shortly after that, I went back to my shit posting and they did in fact unfollow me. And I was like, yeah, I knew it. I was ready. It's like, honestly, fair. You're not going to like what comes after this. I'm not consistent. It's one day it'll be like some kind of activist thing that PSA that goes viral. And the next day it's just tweeting about, I don't know, garbage, literal garbage.
Yeah,
there are
definitely times where that happens, where I get followed by someone and I'm like, you will not stick around because I'm too fucking weird for you, which is condescending of me in retrospect.
Well, I don't think it's that I'm too weird. I think it's more just this is not what you thought it was going to be. Yeah, you should have scrolled down a little more.
Yeah, you don't scroll very far, huh?
Like, made one like super comedy tweet and they're like, ooh, a super comedy account. This person must be in a writer's room in LA. Follow. And it's like, no, you're just shit posting and posting pictures.
Oh my god, I definitely told you about the time that I was on a streak. I don't know when, it was a few years ago. I think it was when I lived in Portland. I don't know what happened, but I was on a streak with joke tweets, and they kept popping off over and over. And I was like, oh, that's funny. That's not what I do. Like, I'm a writer, but I'm not a writer.
Yeah.
And I actually had someone in my DMs who worked on TV and was like, hi, do you... Well, they were basically talking about doing TV writing, and I was like, you know... Wow, and cool. I don't remember... No, it was not rad, and it was not cool, because I don't want to fucking do that. And they were basing it off of stupid joke tweets that I did. It was like... And I was just like, no, I need to give them a dose of what I usually tweeted at. So I just stopped making jokes for like a week, and they unfollowed me.
Oh.
I needed them to know. No, I was like, no, you cannot go offering like TV writing stuff. One, I don't have any desire to do TV writing. I don't like TV. I don't even watch TV. Fuck off.
Yeah, but TV these days, you know.
Don't care. Do not care. Also, that's not something I do. Like, I can have a week of like, oh, I'm so funny this week, and I will never be funny again.
Oh god.
I'm just saying, it's just I'm not a comedian. I'm a person who is funny for like a week at a time.
That's the thing with like fucking TikTok, where people are like, oh, you can promote your art on TikTok if you do like skits with your characters. And I'm like, I'm not a funny person.
Yeah.
I can't just invent a joke. That's not how that works.
Now that I moved, I wonder if I can get extra hands to help me work on my puppet talk.
Oh, your puppet talk.
I want to do my puppet TikTok.
Well, see, that NERO is partly why, like, talking to my social media assistant, that is like, all right, so what does really well with a lot of story comics is like making like jokey joke shit posts about your own characters, and I was like, and I don't got the energy for that, so here's all my comics, read them, think of some. Like,
my little guys aren't that funny.
Yeah. But at the same time, it's like one of the things that I recently did was so Abby Howard, published by Iron Circus multiple times, but the one that we're talking about is The Last Halloween, which is in a series. And volume 1 was recently banned in a school district somewhere. And when I saw that, see, my brain is like full-time marketing. So I'm literally always looking for excuses to talk about a title. So for International Students Day, you know, I talk about student ambassador, things like that. But when that happened, I was like, you literally just handed me a fucking check. Thank you. And the first thing I did was make a little meme piece of bullshit with Grandpa Simpson, where Grandpa Simpson is hanging that 49-star flag. And when Marge asks him about it, he goes, I'll be deep in the cold, cold ground before I recognize Missouri, you know, and that's where this school district is. It's in Missouri. So I just photoshopped the Iron
Even
Circus.
I know that's not what Grandpa said.
Well, you know what I mean. And I just photoshopped the Iron Circus gear over Grandpa Simpson's face, and that was surprisingly successful. People fucking like that. And it's like, oh, this is a lesson for the future, how to promote more Iron Circus
Oh
stuff.
no, people love
Somebody ban
memes
me.
when they're appropriate.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody hurry up and ban me.
Yeah. But
how can we get the poor craft book cookbook banned? What spin can we put on this?
I'm expecting something to happen with R Velocity, which is the next graphic novel I'm working on, with some fucking moments in it.
Oh god. And I saw a tweet, and I didn't want to say this in public because it felt rude, but I saw a tweet that was like, actually, book bannings do not increase sales. And my first thought was all like, sounds like someone's not fucking trying.
Well, okay, so a lot of book bans, because you don't find out about them, those don't increase sales.
Yeah.
So like,
yeah,
Last Halloween is not actually the first Iron Circus book to end up on a book ban list.
Well, the thing
as The Crow Flies is, but it hasn't been on a publicized ban list.
Yeah. But we have evidence that it's banned, that we can show people.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. When it is banned, you kind of, maybe it's just because I have this reputation as like a contrarian, off the beaten path kind of publisher. So maybe those are the kind of people who are following the Iron Circus Twitter and subscribe to the Iron Circus newsletter. But when that ban came through, the first thing I did was go to Matt and be like, okay, this is being in the newsletter next week, and we need a graphic for it, and we're going to have a sale, and it's going to be a 50% off sale. It's going to be a both birds flying, fuck you sale, and we're gonna move so many fucking books, and we have.
See, that couldn't be me. I would have to have someone else handling that stuff for me, because if my stuff got banned, like if my porn got banned, I'd quietly be like, yeah, fair. But if my other stuff got banned, I mean, it's porn. Like when you make
banning, filthy, disgusting.
No, but I think everybody who makes like erotic work, they're counting down the days that they can't anymore, or that it gets banned, or they get shut down, just because one asshole changes the rules. We've talked about this. It's less like, oh, I deserve to be banned, and more, you're always planning for that contingency anyway, because all it takes is one asshole in charge one day to go, yeah, no, I don't like your stuff. It's goodbye. You don't get to make money. But if it was my non-porn stuff, my feelings would be hurt.
Yeah.
My fifis would be very shattered.
If it were Starry Night, it would probably be sad.
Yeah, if it was Starry Night, I would do a little boohoo.
Oh.
I finished.
Oh, okay.
My pitch.
Oh, thank God, we can go now.
I have finished.
That's a joke.
Shared it so you can see the horses I drew.
All right, I will go grab it and share it with this.
And I finished my drawing, but you can't share it because there's a boner in it.
Or it's fine.
I am going to post it to my co-host.
I'm going to toe that line.
No, this is not like koi. This is clearly a penis. You can't share this.
I didn't stutter.
No. I'm not interested in the Iron Circus YouTube getting catching a ban. So we will not be sharing this. You have to go to my co-host to see it. I will upload it right after this is finished. And hey, now's the time to do the outro. Everybody, thank you so very much for coming to see us. I'm Spike. For now, you can find me on Twitter at iron_spike. You can find me on co-host at ironspike, all one word. You can find me on Hive at ironspike, all one word. And you can find me at Pillow Fort, ironspike, all one word. Pillow Fort has my long format comic. It's about Bolshevik elves, and it's called Blikada. You can read it at blikada.com. BLIKADA.com. I bought myself a domain for my birthday. Co-host is cohost.org/ironspike. Head over there after this show is over to see what I spent this entire time drawing. I founded and run Iron Circus Comics. IronCircus.com is our site, and we currently have a crowdfund going on BackerKit, BackerKit.com. It's for Smut Peddler X, the 10-year anniversary edition of the original Smut Peddler collection, and the oft-requested, incredibly awesome My Monster Girlfriend. If you back us
Which
now,
NERO did a story for.
Which NERO did do a story for. If you back us now, you can also buy a poster of the Smut Peddler X cover by Claire Hummel, Valve concept artist. She's even going to sign a few. You can get those as add-ons.
All my stuff is at kelmcdonald.com. I'm not gonna list all my social medias because that's too long. I'm Kel McDonald on most of them. But sign up for my newsletter because that's the one that I interact with the most. And there's an easy sign up form on my site, kelmcdonald.com. If you would like to read the comic where I drew a million horses, it is called You Are the Chosen One. It is about 23 kids that got the same prophecy dream. You can read that on my Patreon at patreon.com/kelmcdonald. And I stream 3 times a week at twitch.tv/kelmcdonald. So follow me all those places.
For this week, next week it will be different. For this week, you can find all my shit. I changed my Twitter name back to Amanda Lafrene because Twitter's been weird about real people and verification, and it's like, fuck it, I ain't chancing that shit. And that's where you can find all my shit temporarily until things are sorted next week. Nero, before you introduce yourself, did you have any closing things you wanted to say? Not introduce, outroduce.
Outroduce, yes.
Thanks for having me on. I love to talk to you three.
Yeah, thank you for coming, Nero.
Yeah.
And thank you for everything you do.
Next week we're gonna have Meredith McLaren on.
Ooh.
Nero, where can everyone find you?
You can find all of my stuff on itsnero.com. My Patreon is linked on there. You can read 300 pages of the comic about angry chefs who fuck. Drawn by me, written by previous guest Iris J. It's a very collaborative thing, so it's hard to say she writes it. It's like, well, she also thumbnails, and then I do dialogue and all that fun stuff. You can get the Porcraft cookbook on the Iron Circus shop soon. In the future.
Yeah, in the future, but you can
in the future.
The square-bound version now if you just go to Amazon.
Yeah. What's the other thing? I do shit on Filthy Figments. You can read stuff there. You know what? Here, I'll give Geek Show a little secret, a little sexy secret for the 17 people that are here. I have a new webcomic that's coming out in January. If you're a patron, you can read it first. In March, it'll be a public thing. It's about the cross sections between violence and sexuality and censorship. It'll be real interesting.
Ooh, it does sound interesting. What's it called?
Ultra Violence with a TS at the end. If you sign up for my mailing list on my website, you can see it there too.
Okay.
Wink.
So everyone go do that. It's NERO.com, right?
Yep.
Cool. Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Have a good one.
Bye, folks. Happy Thanksgiving.